The next morning, after getting up and finishing her morning routine, Zhao Hongkai headed to the office for work as usual. Throughout the day at the company, he kept staring at his phone, afraid of missing a single call or message. Yet the whole day passed without a single notification. He got home past 6 in the evening. Only Chen Guiyuan was there. Lin Qingxue had not come back with the baby. The range hood in the kitchen hummed loudly. No sooner had Zhao Hongkai sat down on the sofa than Chen Guiyuan carried a freshly cooked dish over to the dining table. Time for dinner. Still no news from her today? Chen Guiyuan shook her head. Nothing. Same as before. Her calls won't go through, and she never replies to messages. Irritation welled up inside Zhao Hongkai. 2 days and 1 night had gone by, and it seemed the woman had no intention of coming back. He could not understand how she was managing out there with their newborn baby. He did not care so much if she went hungry, but his daughter would suffer along with her, and that made Zhao Hongkai extremely upset. He sat down at the dining table, and Chen Guiyuan handed him a pair of chopsticks. Eat. Try not to dwell on it. I'm mainly worried about the baby. I know, but worrying won't change anything. She will probably come back once she can no longer get by outside. We can keep trying to call her these days. It would be best if she returned. Marrying another woman would cost money. We gave her family 60,000 yuan as a betrothal gift when you two got married, and all we got in return was a granddaughter. That cannot be. I still want a grandson. Once she gives birth to a boy, I won't stand in her way if she wants to leave again. Halfway through the meal, Chen Guiyuan's phone suddenly rang. Her first thought was that Lin Qingxue was calling back, but the caller ID showed it was Zhao Lingling. Hello, Mom. What are you busy with? We're having dinner. What's up? Did something come up for you to call all of a sudden? Zhejiang was about to turn 3, and they planned to hold a banquet. She wanted her mother, Zhao Hongkai, and Lin Qingxue to attend. When will it be? Next weekend. I'll send you the location later. Come together then. Hongkai and I will definitely go, but that Lin Qingxue won't be coming. She's run off. On the other end of the line, Zhao Lingling fell silent in surprise. What do you mean she's run off? Where did she go? I have no idea. She took the baby with her. Her phone is off and she ignores texts. We have no clue where she is. When did this happen? Yesterday. I don't know exactly when she left, but she was gone when we got home in the afternoon. We haven't seen hide nor hair of her since then. That's going too far. How can Lin Qingxue act like this as a mother? Doesn't she realize how tiny the baby is? Why would she wander around with an infant? Who knows? Hongkai and I have called her countless times since yesterday. She never picks up and hasn't gone back to her parents' home either. That's strange. Where else could she go besides her family's house? No idea. We're furious with her. Zhao Lingling tried to soothe her. Mom, don't get too worked up. She's a woman with a small baby and hardly any money. She can't have gone far. Just wait a little. She will likely be home in a few days. If all else fails, call the police and ask them to help look for her. Sigh. That's what we're planning for now. We're sure she doesn't have enough money to survive out there for long. But it's already been 2 days and 1 night and she still hasn't shown up. We don't know when she will give in and come back. Don't worry about the banquet. Hongkai and I will be there for sure. Alright, see you then. After hanging up, Zhao Lingling sat eating with her husband and son and made several critical remarks about what had happened. Still, she had her own family to look after and could not keep obsessing over the matter. After dinner, she tidied the kitchen, went back to her bedroom, and started making preparations for her son's 3rd birthday celebration. In their local customs, certain birthdays were important occasions: the 1-month celebration, the 1st birthday, the 3rd birthday, and the 10th birthday. Families usually held banquets and invited relatives over for food and merriment. Gift packages for guests also needed to be prepared. All of this fell to Zhao Lingling. Chen Chuang finished his shower and walked into the bedroom. He saw Zhao Lingling sitting by the windowsill with pen and paper, scribbling notes. Haven't you finished booking the banquet yet? It's not that simple. I have to compare different options. Banquet halls charge so much these days. A single table costs several thousand yuan. There's no need to book something overly fancy. Relatives won't give large gifts. We would lose a fortune if we spend too much per table. I know. That's why I'm sorting through options. I want decent food without looking shabby. Otherwise, our family will lose face. And we still need gift packages. None of this is your concern. I'm handling everything alone. This is your son too. Chen Chuang flopped onto the bed after entering the room and started scrolling on his phone, paying no mind to all the arrangements. You've done this sort of thing before. I trust you completely. I worked hard all day and don't want to stress over banquet details. Zhao Lingling huffed, clearly displeased. It's not like I don't have a job. I work a full day as well. When I get home, I cook for everyone, clean the house, and take care of all these banquet preparations. Who appreciates all that I do? Chen Chuang frowned. He disliked hearing her talk that way. It was true she cooked, but everyone in the household ate the meals, including herself. Why frame it as if she was doing others a favor? The same went for cleaning. The whole family lived under this roof, and Zhao Lingling lived there too. Yet she spoke as though she performed housework only for everyone else. Still, Chen Chuang did not want to start an argument. He feared angering her to the point where she would stop doing household chores. So he spoke in a patient tone. All right. I had a migraine after working all day out there. It's not that I refuse to help. I know how hard you work. But we don't hold banquets every day. Our son only turns 3 once. The next big celebration won't come until his 10th birthday. Just bear the extra workload for a few more days. You're careful and reliable, far more so than I am. Zhao Lingling rolled her eyes. She mumbled a few complaints, but kept sorting through her choices. After plenty of comparisons, she finally settled on a restaurant for the banquet. She picked one at a mid-range price point and booked 10 tables at 1,000 yuan each. That was the absolute limit of what she could afford. She could not possibly afford tables costing 4 or 5,000 yuan. Cheaper options worried her because she feared looking ungenerous. Relatives would think poorly of them if served low-quality dishes. Once the banquet was booked, Zhao Lingling moved on to gift packages. Guests would bring monetary gifts, and in return, the host family gave each guest a gift bag. Many shops sold such gifts. She had saved shop contacts from past birthday events. After checking prices, she compared offers from multiple sellers to find the best value. Chen Chuang leaned against the headboard scrolling his phone and soon fell fast asleep. Zhao Lingling stayed seated on the bedroom balcony, comparing prices for hours before finalizing the gift packages. She chose sets costing roughly 20 yuan apiece and ordered 200 in total. Once payment went through, that task was finished. Zhao Lingling stood up and stretched her aching lumbar spine and neck. Glancing over at Chen Chuang sound asleep in bed, resentment stirred inside her. This was how life had been for years. Chen Chuang focused solely on his job and ignored every household duty. Meanwhile, as his wife, she held down a job, cooked, did laundry, mopped floors, and cared for their child after getting home each night. There was always endless work. Yet to Chen Chuang, all of this was simply expected of her. A heavy sense of discontent washed over Zhao Lingling, and she sighed. She took a shower and then went to bed. The baby had been full and content all day but would not fall asleep at night. Lying in bed, the little one clutched a small stuffed toy and babbled away. Lin Qingxue could not rest until her daughter slept and sat beside her keeping her company. Suddenly, a system notification chimed. Ding! Zhao Lingling has booked 10 banquet tables priced at 1,000 yuan each. Congratulations to the host. You have received 100 banquet tables valued at 1,000 yuan each. Ding! Zhao Lingling has ordered 200 gift packages priced at 20 yuan each. Congratulations to the host. You have received 2,000 gift packages valued at 20 yuan each. Lin Qingxue was delighted by these sudden gains. From what Zhao Lingling had purchased, she could guess what was going on. It must be the 3rd birthday celebration for Zhao Lingling's son. System, I don't need these items. Convert them into cash for me. Understood, host. Host, 100 banquet tables have been converted successfully. 100,000 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check. Host, 2,000 gift packages have been converted successfully. 40,000 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check. 140,000 yuan had arrived all at once. She had spent over 10,000 yuan on rent not long ago, but this new sum eased her anxiety. The money would support her and her daughter for a very long time. Banquets were common back in their hometown, for children's birthdays, elders' birthday celebrations, weddings, and more. When Lin Qingyang and Zhou Yuan's child turned 1, they would surely hold a banquet too. They would book tables and buy gift packages. And Lin Qingxue would benefit greatly once again. Still, the people currently linked to the system were not enough. Their spending power was limited. Food and daily necessities were covered for now, but Lin Qingxue wanted more. Living in a big city was expensive. She did not want to rent forever, she dreamed of owning her own place. To earn more rewards, she needed to connect with more people. This left her stuck. She wanted to find a job, but her baby needed constant care. Furthermore, she had dropped out of school after junior high. She held no formal qualifications. Competition in the job market was fierce. Even university graduates struggled to find work. For someone with only a junior, high education, and no specialized skills, job hunting would be even harder. Lin Qingxue knew she needed to think carefully over the next few days. She had to figure out how to care for her baby while meeting more people. More interactions with others meant more opportunities for system links and greater rewards. On the day of Zhao Lingling's son's banquet, Chen Guiyuan and Zhao Hongkai dressed neatly and prepared to head out. As the boy's maternal grandmother and uncle, they could not show up empty-handed. They stopped at a shopping mall first. They bought 2 sets of children's clothing, a small school bag, and 2 cartons of milk. Then they took these gifts and traveled to the restaurant Zhao Lingling had reserved. The moment payment was completed, Lin Qingxue received her system rewards on the other side. Ding! Zhao Hongkai has purchased 2 sets of children's clothing, 1 school bag, and 2 cartons of milk. Congratulations to the host. You have received 20 sets of children's clothing, 10 school bags, and 20 cartons of milk. Lin Qingxue mentally opened her system panel and examined her newly acquired items. She quickly made up her mind. Convert the 20 sets of children's clothing and the 10 school bags into cash. Those clothes were sized for a 3-year-old boy and useless for her infant daughter. The school bags were also unnecessary. There was no point letting them sit and used in the system. She could buy whatever her daughter needed later with cash instead. She decided to keep the milk. She could drink it herself. Back when she was recovering after giving birth, her family had not given her enough nourishing food. Now these supplies from the system saved her trips to the supermarket. Host, 20 sets of children's clothing and 10 school bags have been converted successfully. 3,600 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check. Zhao Hongkai and Chen Guiyuan arrived at the restaurant with their gifts. Many relatives were already present. Zhao Lingling hurried over to greet them. Even with so many guests around, her own mother and brother mattered more than other relatives, and she treated them warmly. You're here. Come sit. Have you heard anything from Qingxue lately? Chen Guiyuan shook her head. Nothing. It's been days. She hasn't contacted us, and we have no idea where she is. Zhao Lingling frowned. Does that mean she really has no intention of coming back home? Perhaps. Sigh. I cannot fathom what Qingxue is thinking. She has not fully recovered after giving birth. How can she survive out there with such a tiny baby? She cannot work while caring for an infant, and with no money, the poor child will only suffer. Zhao Lingling grew frustrated speaking of her sister-in-law. Chen Guiyuan was angry yet helpless, still without any trace of Lin Qingxue. I keep wondering whether she has found someone else. Maybe she feels emboldened to leave because another man supports her. Zhao Hongkai let out a cold snort. Who would want her? Before marriage, Lin Qingxue had been attractive, and Zhao Hongkai had been fond of her. But after childbirth, her body had changed noticeably. Zhao Hongkai avoided close contact with her and slept in a separate small room every night. He doubted any other man would take an interest in her. Then why do you think she left all of a sudden? Chen Guiyuan asked. Zhao Hongkai could not answer. When Lin Qingxue first vanished, he had been convinced she would quickly return once she could not survive outside. Yet many days had passed without a single sign of her. This weighed on Zhao Lingling's mind. Still, it was her son's 3rd birthday celebration with dozens of relatives present. She could not go on criticizing Lin Qingxue and needed to tend to her guests. Mom, we can talk about this later. We have many guests today. I need to go greet them. Sit here and make yourselves comfortable. All right, go on. We'll stay here for a while. The birthday boy, Qin Zheng, ran around everywhere, full of energy. Chen Guiyuan's face lit up at the sight of him. She waved to call him over. Zhezheng, come see what grandma and uncle brought you. Hearing his name, Qin Zheng ran toward them. Zhao Hongkai handed over the new clothes and school bag. Grandma picked these out for you. Do you like them? Qin Zheng took the gifts and thanked them cheerfully. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Uncle. But I don't go to school yet. Chen Guiyuan stroked his head. That's fine. You can use the school bag when you start school. Okay, I'll keep it. It looks really nice. As long as you like it. With that, Qin Zheng ran off clutching his new things. Chen Guiyuan watched him dart about, a constant smile on her face. What a lovely boy. I wish I had a grandson of my own. Zhao Hengkai knew how badly his mother wanted a grandson. He had planned for Lin Qingxue to conceive a second child once her body recovered. Now that Lin Qingxue had left with their baby daughter, those plans were put on hold. Marrying another wife was unrealistic. Their family did not have enough money. Thinking of this, Zhao Hengkai knitted his brows, filled with resentment toward Lin Qingxue. Dinner had not started yet. Groups of relatives chatted among themselves. Sitting beside Chen Guiyuan, Zhao Hengkai pulled out his phone and sent Lin Qingyang a message. Have you heard from your sister these past few days? Has she gotten in touch with you? Lin Qingyang replied fairly quickly. No, we haven't heard anything from her. We can't get through to her phone either. I was about to ask you. Hasn't she come home yet? No. We still have no idea where she is. Zhao Hengkai had not expected Lin Qingxue to cut off contact even with her birth family. Lin Qingyang sent another message. Let us know right away if you hear anything about her. All right. Zhao Hengkai typed no further messages after sending that word. Lin Qingyang felt frustrated after exchanging messages with Zhao Hengkai. His initial thoughts were much the same as Zhao Hengkai's. He thought Lin Qingxue was just having a quarrel with her husband's family and would head back home after a few days. But several days had passed, and there was still no word from her. Could it be that she really had no intention of coming back? Zhang Lan was mopping the floor at that moment. She overheard her son muttering something that seemed to be about Lin Qingxue. Is there still no news about your sister from her husband's family? That's right. My brother-in-law just messaged me to ask if my sister has been in touch with us. They still have no idea where she is. This time, my sister isn't just throwing a fit. She truly doesn't want to come back. Zhang Lan let out an exasperated sigh. Always making trouble. Does she think she can live some wonderful life out there? Zhou Yuan had just gotten the baby to sleep. Stepping out of the room, she overheard the mother and son talking in the living room. She had no desire to listen to this conversation. She only wanted to live her own life. Lin Qingxue was already married and had a child. Even if she had vanished, it should have nothing to do with them. Qingyang, if you've got nothing on this afternoon, come shopping with me. I want to buy some new clothes and a bag. Before her son could reply, Zhang Lan cut in. Why buy more clothes? What need have you to dress up nicely staying at home? A bag only needs to be functional. You can carry things in a plastic bag. Why waste money on one? Qingyang hasn't even found a job yet. Can't you try to be more frugal? Zhou Yuan's expression darkened. Mom, I've been stuck at home with the baby these days and I'm going stir crazy. What's wrong with wanting to go out for a bit? It's not like I go shopping every day. You already have a child. You ought to save wherever you can. There will be plenty of expenses ahead. A single can of milk powder costs hundreds of yuan, and schooling will drain even more money later on. Don't spend money on unnecessary things. Who's spending recklessly? How many times have I gone shopping since I got pregnant? All I do is look after the baby day in and day out. I'm practically burning out. Besides, I'm not planning to buy anything expensive. I just want a few new pieces to lift my mood. Zhang Lan was about to say more, but Lin Qingyang grew irritated listening to the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law bickering over such trivial matters and spoke up. All right. Stop arguing over such small things. If you want to go shopping, just go. I'm bored cooped up at home too, so I might as well tag along. Zhang Lan shot her son a sharp glare. Since he had already given his consent, she could not keep stopping them. You can go out shopping, but spend your money wisely. Don't buy things you don't need. Just get cheap clothes. There is no point in splurging on expensive ones. New styles come out every year, and you will grow tired of them in a year or two. No need to throw money away. I know, Lin Qingyang replied impatiently. Truth be told, he was not eager to go shopping with Zhou Yuan. Still, staying at home glued to his phone playing games was also tedious. Going out did not sound all bad. There was an arcade in the shopping mall, and he could play some games there. Because of the hot weather, Lin Qingyang took Zhou Yuan out in the late afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock. They arrived at a shopping mall. Lin Qingyang parked their electric scooter in the outdoor parking area and followed her inside to the first floor. Though the sun was not as fierce as at noon, it was still sweltering. It felt much cooler once they stepped into the air-conditioned mall. The first floor housed many clothing stores. Zhou Yuan walked into one of them and admired the beautiful garments on the racks. But her body had changed after giving birth. Many clothes no longer fit her, and she could only look and pick out pieces that might suit her. Lin Qingyang had no interest in women's clothing. As soon as they entered the shop, he sat down and returned to scrolling on his phone. Zhou Yuan picked out a dress and frowned when she saw his behavior. I asked you to come shopping with me and you just sit there? Lin Qingyang lifted his head. I don't know anything about this stuff. Just pick whatever you like. Zhou Yuan muttered under her breath, set her handbag down beside him, and said, I'm going to try this on. Keep an eye on my bag for me. Sure, leave it there. Lin Qingyang's attention drifted right back to his phone screen. Carrying the new dress, Zhou Yuan stepped into the fitting room and drew the curtain shut. She had taken quite a liking to this dress style and had grabbed the largest size, unsure how it would look on her. After changing into the dress, she stepped out and stood before a full-length mirror. The dress itself was lovely, yet she was dissatisfied with how it looked on her. It paled in comparison to how it appeared on the store mannequin. The shop assistant, hoping to make a sale, kept complimenting her. Miss, this dress looks wonderful on you. It brings out your charm. It is one of our new arrivals this year and has been selling extremely well. Only 3 pieces are left in stock. Zhou Yuan studied her reflection from different angles. She really liked the dress. It did not matter that her figure was not what it used to be. She could always lose weight later to make it fit even better. Lin Qingyang remained seated on the sofa, absorbed in his game. Zhou Yuan walked over to him in the new dress. What do you think of this dress on me? Lin Qingyang glanced up briefly. It's fine. If you like it, that's what counts. His dismissive tone stung Zhou Yuan. You agreed so readily to come shopping, yet once we get here you just sit idly. Lin Qingyang's expression turned grim. I told you I don't understand fashion. If you like it, that should be enough. Not wanting to argue further, Zhou Yuan said, Very well, I'll take this one. She turned to the shop assistant. How much is this dress? The assistant politely stated the price. This dress costs 489 yuan. Zhou Yuan froze. She had not checked the price tag while browsing and had only picked it for its style. She had not expected it to be so pricey. Lin Qingyang looked up from his game upon hearing the figure. That's far too expensive. It doesn't even use much fabric. How can it cost nearly 500 yuan? The shop assistant smiled and explained. This is our new season style. The price is quite reasonable. If you pick out one more item in our store, you can get an 8.8% discount on both pieces together. Zhou Yuan mentally calculated the discounted price. Even with the discount, it is still costly. She might have bought it for 1 or 200 yuan, but almost 500 yuan for a single dress pained her. Lin Qingyang felt the same way. He would happily buy Zhou Yuan clothes worth dozens of yuan, but spending nearly 500 on one dress felt like a waste. That amount could buy 2 cans of milk powder. He had tried to hold his tongue, but hearing the price made him want to pull Zhou Yuan away. Why don't we look in other shops? There are plenty more stores here. This dress does not flatter your figure very well. It makes you look several years older. Let's go somewhere else. We might find something better. Zhou Yuan rolled her eyes at him. A moment ago you told me my own opinion was all that mattered, but the second you hear the price you start saying things like this. You just don't want to spend the money. That's not true. Why do you always jump to conclusions? Lin Qingyang tried to defend himself, yet Zhou Yuan remained upset by his attitude. The shop assistant stood awkwardly nearby. Zhou Yuan also felt embarrassed. She had loved the dress at first sight, and now their quarrel over price played out in front of a shop assistant, who might think they could not afford to shop there. After some hesitation, Zhou Yuan made up her mind. I'll take this dress. I'll change out of it. Please wrap it up for me. The shop assistant nodded happily. Very well. Just hand the dress over once you have changed. Lin Qingyang was displeased, but he could not drag her away in front of all the shop staff. That would be mortifying. Zhou Yuan went back into the fitting room, took off the dress and put her original clothes back on. The shop assistant waited outside, took the dress and carried it to the counter. Reluctantly, Lin Qingyang followed over to pay. Once the dress had been placed into a shopping bag, Lin Qingyang held up his phone payment code for the assistant to scan. In mere seconds, nearly 500 yuan was gone, and Lin Qingyang's heart ached. After walking out of the store, Lin Qingyang voiced his complaints. We never should have come here to shop. There are street stalls in the pedestrian street with perfectly nice clothes for much lower prices. Shops and malls have high rent, so their goods are naturally expensive. That dress is not worth that sum at all. Carrying the shopping bag, Zhou Yuan grew annoyed listening to his constant grumbling. The purchase is already done. Can you stop complaining? I do not go shopping every day. Think about it. How many times have I gone out shopping since I became pregnant? All I do is stay home and look after the baby. I was so looking forward to this outing and now you are ruining my mood. If you do not want to keep shopping, you can go back. I will carry on by myself. Having said this sharply, Zhou Yuan quickened her pace and walked ahead. Though stung by her retort, Lin Qingyang hurried after her. I was just saying a few words. Why are you getting so angry? How could I not be angry? I went through so much hardship giving birth to our child, and you begrudge me a new dress. I'm not begrudging it, truly I'm not. Even if he felt that way deep down, Lin Qingyang would never admit it aloud. Zhou Yuan was already in a foul temper. He feared how bad the fight could become if he said anything else to upset her. Leaving that clothing store, Zhou Yuan headed into the next shop. This time Lin Qingyang dared not play games on his phone. He stuck close beside her. As Zhou Yuan browsed, he secretly glanced at price tags. Every time he saw 3-digit, 4-digit prices, or prices starting with 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, he grew anxious, afraid Zhou Yuan would buy more expensive items. When Zhou Yuan picked out a pair of jeans priced at over 300 yuan, Lin Qingyang tried to dissuade her. I don't think these trousers look good. They have rips in them. Wearing them out does not look proper. Why not look at something else? I like them. Earlier you said that as long as I liked something it was fine. Ripped designs are quite common. Plenty of young women wear them. Zhou Yuan ignored him and headed for the fitting room. Lin Qingyang stood there watching her walk in. He silently opened his phone and checked his account balance. He had worked for a short time before, but his salary had been low. Conflicts with colleagues had made him quit, and he had not found another job ever since. His savings were limited. He did not mind spending money on himself or recharging game accounts, but spending hundreds of yuan on Zhou Yuan's clothes hurt his feelings. Zhou Yuan put on the black jeans and checked herself in the mirror. The fit was excellent. Though she had gained weight after childbirth, these trousers made her look much slimmer. She was satisfied with the effect. Without asking Lin Qingyang's opinion, she changed back into her own clothes, handed the jeans to the assistant, and said, I'll take this pair. Lin Qingyang frowned. You could buy 3 pairs of trousers for that price. There is no need to buy them here. Zhou Yuan's brows drew together. That's enough. I won't buy anything else after this pair. Can you stop your endless nagging and act like a man? Why must you haggle over every little thing when buying things for your wife? I'm not haggling. But Mom has a point. Now that we have a child, we ought to think about their needs. Cans of milk powder cost hundreds of yuan, and kindergarten fees will add up even more. We need to save money. Saving alone will not make us rich. You need to find a well-paid job and earn more. Simply cutting costs will only get us so far. Do not make your wife and child suffer because you cannot earn enough money. Lin Qingyang's face burned. Zhou Yuan had kept her voice low, yet the shop assistants stood close behind the checkout counter, and he worried they might have overheard her words. Once again it was time to pay. Lin Qingyang held out his phone, and another 336 yuan was deducted from his account. Taking the shopping bag from the assistant, Zhou Yuan smiled faintly and walked out of the shop with Lin Qingyang. There were many more shops on the first floor. Having bought a dress and a pair of jeans, Zhou Yuan glanced toward the other storefronts as they walked. Afraid she would enter more expensive shops, Lin Qingyang gently reminded her. You said you would stop buying after these. Why don't we go upstairs instead of staying on this floor? I meant clothes. I still want to buy a bag. Lin Qingyang fell speechless. A short distance ahead stood a bag shop. Cabinets lined every wall, filled with elegant handbags. A central display stand also held many styles. Zhou Yuan's eyes lit up. She had never owned a decent handbag. Since she was out shopping today, she intended to buy one. A nice bag would look presentable when meeting friends or visiting relatives. Lin Qingyang followed her inside with a long face. Zhou Yuan noticed, but paid him no mind. He had agreed to come shopping with her, so he had no right to be upset over her purchases. Still, Zhou Yuan was not being reckless with money. She ignored the bags costing several thousand or tens of thousands of yuan. She understood their family situation. She had endured 10 months of pregnancy and a difficult childbirth, and she did not want their child to suffer. A bag worth a few hundred yuan would serve her well enough. She browsed for a long time and finally picked out a bag priced at more than 400 yuan. She held it in her hands and examined it carefully. Since there was no need to try it on, she checked its texture, capacity, and appearance, and decided she wanted it. While she chose her bag, Lin Qingyang stood by in gloomy silence, hoping she would not buy it. In his opinion, there was no need to spend hundreds on a handbag. A simple canvas bag was sturdy and practical. Leather bags wore out quickly and would end up needing replacement before long. But several shop assistants were watching. Zhou Yuan had spent ages picking and gave no sign of leaving. Lin Qingyang held back his complaints to avoid being laughed at. Zhou Yuan made her final choice. I'll take this one. Let's pay. I think it looks great. The shop assistant warmly led them to the checkout counter. The assistant carefully placed the bag into a shopping bag and handed it to Zhou Yuan. Lin Qingyang unwillingly paid with his phone. Once outside the shop, he could not keep the rebuke out of his tone. Are you done buying things now? Zhou Yuan took offense at his tone. You offered to come shopping with me. What is wrong with buying a bag? Other people spent thousands or even more on bags. I only bought one for a few hundred yuan and you are still unhappy. Sensing her bad mood and not wanting to argue in public inside the mall, Lin Qingyang said, Fine, fine. It's already bought. Let's go upstairs. I remember there is an arcade on one of the upper floors. Zhou Yuan frowned. You get grumpy when I buy clothes and bags, but you're eager to go to the arcade. You have no problem spending money on yourself, do you? That is not what I meant. I've been stuck at home every day and I'm bored out of my mind. I want to play some games while we are out. Game tokens do not cost much. That bag you bought costs enough for many visits to the arcade. I think even spending dozens of yuan there would be a waste. You are a grown-up, not a child. Why go to an arcade? That money would be better spent on our child. So you think it is fine for you to splurge on clothes and bags, but any small pleasure for me ought to go toward the baby? If we are going to think like that, we should have stayed home and saved all this money for milk powder. That dress alone cost 500 yuan. Altogether today's purchases are worth more than 1,000 yuan, enough for a whole month of milk powder for our baby. Zhou Yuan knew that was true. I do not shop like this often. This is just one single trip. Who knows when I will get to go out again. As a man, you ought to focus on building a better life for your wife and child instead of complaining about how much I spend. Besides, I do not think I overspent. I barely got to go out throughout my pregnancy. All I do is look after the baby. I finally get a day out, and you keep ruining my mood with your remarks. Growing tired of listening to her talk, Lin Qingyang cut her off. Enough of this. Let's go upstairs and head home soon. Meanwhile, Lin Qingxue was sitting in her rental flat, watching her baby drink milk from a bottle. The system sent another notification. Ding! Lin Qingyang has purchased a 489 yuan dress, 336 yuan jeans, and a 450 yuan leather handbag. Congratulations to the host. You have received 10 489 yuan dresses, 10 336 yuan pairs of jeans, and 10 450 yuan leather handbags. Hearing this system prompt, Lin Qingxue was quite surprised. She had not expected someone like Lin Qingyang, who did not even have a job, would be willing to spend 400 to 500 yuan on a dress, shelling out over 1,000 yuan during a single shopping trip. Still, she reasoned that it might not have been Lin Qingyang who wanted to go out. Perhaps Zhou Yuan had dragged him along, since all women enjoyed shopping and buying new clothes. No matter who had initiated the outing, she had genuinely gained these benefits. Lin Qingxue used her mind to open the system panel. The dresses, jeans, and handbag she had just obtained were useless to her. Her height and figure differed from Zhou Yuan's. The clothes Zhou Yuan had bought to fit herself simply would not suit Lin Qingxue, so she planned to exchange all of them. System, sell all these dresses, jeans, and leather handbags I just got and convert them into cash. Very well, host. The items have been traded in. A total of 12,750 yuan has been credited to your account. Please check your balance. Gaining more than 10,000 yuan once again filled Lin Qingxue with joy. It had not been long since she bound herself to the system, yet the money she had accumulated kept growing. Since she did not need to soothe the baby for the moment, Lin Qingxue let her mind wander and thought carefully about what lay ahead. She had given birth to this child and could never abandon her, but neither could she let her whole world revolve around childcare. She wanted to rediscover herself. If possible, Lin Qingxue hoped to find a job. It was not about earning money, but about interacting with more people. Lin Qingyang had originally planned to spend time on the game floor, yet Zhou Yuan was reluctant to let him. Hindered by Zhou Yuan, he merely wandered that level, watching others play games, before they took the elevator back home. Carrying several shopping bags, the pair returned home. Zheng Lan was in the kitchen sorting vegetables to prepare dinner. At the sound of movement at the doorway, Zheng Lan lifted her head. Seeing the upscale, looking bags in their hands, her brows drew together. Her first question was, "How much did you spend out there today?" Lin Qingyang sounded slightly annoyed. "Over 1,000 yuan." At this figure, Zhang Lan, who had been seated on a small stool, shot to her feet. "What did you buy to cost over 1,000? There are only 3 bags. How can they be so expensive?" Zhou Yuan had known the older woman would question her spending the moment she brought the purchases home, yet it was too late to return them. "That is just how prices are at the mall. What I bought was hardly expensive. I picked the cheapest options available." Zhang Lan hated to see money wasted and could not help lecturing them. "You are parents now. Stop spending so recklessly. Think of your child before you act. Infant formula costs a fortune. Neither of you has a job. You have to cut back on expenses or you will not make ends meet." Annoyed by her mother-in-law's attitude, Zhou Yuan sat down on the sofa and folded her arms across her chest. "Mom, please stop. I barely get to go shopping. Why must you nag me every time I buy something? Talk to your son instead and push him to find work. Once he earns money, these purchases will seem trivial." Lin Qingyang sank onto the sofa, pulled out his phone and opened a game. He mumbled, "I never said I would not look for work. How many times must you all go on about it? I will start searching tomorrow. I have no intention of lazing around forever. It is just that the weather has been hot lately, so I am resting at home. You all act as if I am some good-for-nothing who refuses to earn a living." That was exactly what Zhou Yuan thought. Lin Qingyang had held a job once, but barely made any money, and he had stayed idle ever since quitting. Still, in front of Zhang Lan, she could not voice her true thoughts, otherwise the older woman would believe her son was being wronged. Had she known what Lin Qingyang would turn out to be before marriage, she would never have wed him. She sat on the sofa for a short while to rest, then heard the baby crying from the bedroom. She left the living room to pick the child up and soothe her. The next morning, around 8 or 9 o'clock, Lin Qingyang was sound asleep in bed when he was jolted awake by a rough shake. He opened his eyes to see Zhou Yuan standing beside him holding the baby, her hand still resting on his shoulder. He frowned irritably. "What is it? What do you think?" Zhou Yuan urged. "You said you would look for work today. Stop lying in bed. Get out there and find a job instead of idling at home all day." Lin Qingyang dragged himself out of bed, heavy-eyed with sleep. "I never said I would not go. Why can I not sleep a little longer? I stayed up late last night. I would not disturb you if you had stayed up working, but you were only playing video games. Do not make excuses. Get going." Remembering his promise from the previous day, Lin Qingyang lay still for a few more seconds before stumbling sleepily to his feet and heading for the bathroom to wash up. As he rode his electric scooter out, his mood was gloomy. He had not slept well, and Zhou Yuan's constant pressure for him to find work weighed heavily on him. Lin Qingyang's ideal life would be staying home all day, having meals prepared for him, spending his free time gaming, and occasionally meeting friends for barbecues and drinks. Reality fell far short of this dream. Before marriage, Zhou Yuan had possessed a gentle temper, yet after becoming pregnant and giving birth, she had grown far more sharp-tongued and spoke to him with far less patience. Lin Qingyang had dropped out of school at a young age with no formal education. His previous job had required no specialized skills, so decent work was hard to come by. Eventually, he took a position at a factory not far from home, where wages were low. The factory employed large numbers of men and women of all ages, divided into teams of roughly 10 to 20 workers each. On his first day, hoping to get along with his new colleagues, Lin Qingyang bought each person a milk tea and handed the drinks around warmly. As a newcomer, he still had much to learn and would need to ask others for help. Small gestures of goodwill would win favor from the senior staff, who might then answer his questions patiently in future. Ding! Lin Qingyang has bought 16 cups of milk tea priced at 15 yuan each. Congratulations, host. You have received 160 cups of milk tea priced at 15 yuan each. Lin Qingxue had just finished feeding the baby when the system notification sounded. She disliked milk tea, so she immediately decided to convert the reward. System, I do not need these milk teas. Exchange them for cash. Host, the 160 milk teas have been traded in. 2,400 yuan has been credited to your account. Please check your balance. Shortly after finishing her bottle, the baby fell into a deep sleep. Lin Qingxue had already changed her diaper, so she would not wake for some time. Seizing this chance, Lin Qingxue went out for a walk. Ever since arriving in the city because of her daughter, she had spent nearly every day cooped in the rental apartment caring for the infant, with no opportunity to go out. This could not continue. She needed to get out more and look for possible job openings. She wandered through shops inside a shopping mall. Several storefronts displayed recruitment notices, yet their requirements were demanding. Most positions occupied the entire day, and some required night shift work. After reading through them, Lin Qingxue realized none suited her. Without a child, she would gladly work night shifts, yet she could only leave her daughter unattended for brief periods. She dared not stay out long, afraid the baby might wake and panic upon finding herself alone. She took the elevator upstairs and walked past a jewelry store when a voice called out to her. "Is that Qingxue?" Lin Qingxue halted and turned around to see an elegantly dressed young woman standing behind her. After a moment's pause, Lin Qingxue recognized her, an old childhood friend from her hometown. They had attended primary and junior high school together and had once been close. Once Jiang Baiwei confirmed her identity, she strode over. "It really is you. I thought I might have misrecognized you just now." Lin Qingxue was delighted. "I have not seen you since you moved to the big city. I never expected to run into you here." "Neither did I," Jiang Baiwei said. "What brings you here? Have you also come to work in the city?" Her complicated family situation could not be explained in a few sentences, so Lin Qingxue gave a vague reply. "Yes, I will be staying here from now on." Jiang Baiwei brightened. "Wonderful. Let us exchange contact information. We can meet up for meals or shopping sometime." Lin Qingxue agreed at once and pulled out her phone to swap details. Though years had passed, Jiang Baiwei greeted her old friend with great warmth and naturally linked arms with her. "Since we have met, come along. Let us find somewhere to sit and grab a drink." Lin Qingxue readily accepted, and the two headed for a beverage shop in the mall and took a seat. Jiang Baiwei had an outgoing personality and talked non-stop once seated. "How have you been all these years? I barely kept in touch after I left home. I seldom went back, and I never crossed paths with you on my visits." Looking at the polished, glamorous Jiang Baiwei, Lin Qingxue thought her own past few years had been truly miserable. "Oh, do not ask. It is a long, sad story. I have separated now. From now on, it will just be me and my daughter. I am letting everything else go." Jiang Baiwei had known Lin Qingxue had married, yet she knew nothing of her married life. Still, seeing her downcast and hesitant to speak, she guessed her years of marriage had been difficult. It was plain from the weariness in her face. Jiang Baiwei patted the back of her hand and spoke gently. "If that is the choice you have made, I will not press for details. Just focus on building a better life for yourself. We can spend time together. By the way, you mentioned a child. Is it a boy or a girl?" "A daughter. Neither her father nor his family wanted her. Right after my cesarean section surgery, they told me I should start trying for a second child." Anger flared inside Jiang Baiwei upon hearing this. How could they treat you like that? Pressuring you to conceive again right after a cesarean birth could endanger your health. This explained why Lin Qingxue had left. It had been the right decision. Why stay with such a husband and his family? Lin Qingxue lifted her glass to sip lemon water, and the system prompt chimed. Host, familiarity with Jiang Baiwei has reached 38. Continue interacting with her. Lin Qingxue acknowledged the message in her mind. Though they had once been close, years apart had lowered their familiarity level. Reaching 38 after this chance meeting was far better than starting as strangers. She set down her glass, looked across at her friend and said admiringly, "You look so sophisticated and fashionable, just like city-born young women. You must have had a good few years." Jiang Baiwei laughed. "It was not easy at first. When I first moved here, I lived in a basement and survived on steamed buns and plain boiled water. But I pulled through in the end." "Where do you work now?" "I work in a bar. The pay is excellent. I earn at least several tens of thousands yuan each month, and sometimes even far more." Lin Qingxue was astonished. "That is such a high income." "Exactly. Otherwise, why would I stay in a big city?" What she did not say aloud was that such earnings came with conditions. In that line of work, one's appearance and figure were valuable assets. Many customers spent freely to enjoy themselves. Good service brought generous compensation. Ding. Familiarity with Jiang Baiwei has reached 40. Establishing link now. Link with Jiang Baiwei complete. From now on, you will receive 10 times of whatever goods Jiang Baiwei purchases. The link was finally active, opening another source of income. Even at this first reunion after years apart, Lin Qingxue could see Jiang Baiwei dressed far better than most ordinary people. Her rings, necklace, and earrings sparkled brilliantly. She would surely obtain many valuable items through her friend in future. Jiang Baiwei picked up her cup and drank through the straw. Qingxue, where is your child? Can she be all right alone while you are out? She is in our rental flat. I am only out for a short stroll and need to head back soon. She cannot be left unattended for long. That sounds incredibly tough. I remember hearing about your wedding and feeling sorry for you. You should have come to the city to chase opportunities with me. You could have earned good money for yourself. What is so great about marriage? You end up running yourself ragged for a whole family and bearing children with nothing to show for it. Those first few months had been brutal, yet once she had found a way to make money, she was determined never to return to her hometown, where her relatives would only drain her resources. Recalling the past filled Lin Qingxue with regret, even resentment toward her own family. I had no choice. My parents pressured me heavily. I was still young and could not defy them. I was taught that disobeying them meant being ungrateful. Their claim to having raised me trapped me completely. I understand all too well, Jiang Baiwei sighed. Our situations were similar. But I was rebellious. My only thought was, if I suffer, so will everyone else. That is why I ran away. Looking back, it was the best choice I ever made. Had I stayed in my hometown, I would have been forced into marriage and childbirth too, trapped for the rest of my life. Her job was not widely regarded as respectable, yet Jiang Baiwei thought it was good enough. Without formal education, she only had her looks and figure. She might as well make the most of them to build a better life for herself. Public reputation could hold you captive if you cared too much about it. If you let it go, it meant nothing at all. Lin Qingxue had not understood Jiang Baiwei's decision to flee home back then, before her own marriage. Meeting her now, she saw how wise that choice had been. When your surroundings offer no way forward, leaving is the only sensible path. You are so brave. If I had possessed half your courage, I would never have ended up with such a terrible man and had his child. Not really. When I left home, I had no guarantee I would succeed. I only knew that if I stayed in my hometown, my whole future was already set in stone, but out here there was always a chance. Jiang Baiwei comforted her. Do not dwell on regret. You made the right choice leaving him. Big cities are full of opportunities. Stay here, find work, support yourself and your daughter, and have nothing more to do with his family. You are right, Lin Qingxue agreed. Their drinks were nearly finished, and Lin Qingxue dared not stay out any longer. Weiwei, my baby is still small. I cannot stay out. I need to head back now. We can make plans to meet again later. All right. Jiang Baiwei nodded. Go on home. See you next time. Lin Qingxue left the beverage shop. Jiang Baiwei, however, did not hurry off. She had come out to shop and planned to browse more stores and buy herself more things. When Lin Qingxue ran into Jiang Baiwei a little earlier, Jiang Baiwei had only just arrived at the shopping mall and had not bought much yet. There was no need to go to the bar today, and she had plenty of money on hand. Naturally, she wanted to shop and bring plenty of things home. Jiang Baiwei never grew tired of shopping, even if she did it every single day. Seeing all the fine-looking clothing, cosmetics, handbags, and other goods in the stores filled her with joy, and she felt even happier once she brought them home. She walked into one brand name clothing store and wandered between the racks. Almost all the newly released styles looked lovely to her. She had always kept her figure in excellent shape, so she could pull off many beautiful outfits. A shop assistant came over to greet her. Good afternoon, madam. Feel free to take anything you like to the fitting room to try on. These are all this year's new arrivals and are very popular. Jiang Baiwei spent money freely. She picked one piece after another off the racks. I'll take these to try on in the fitting room. Nearly every item fit perfectly. She had selected pieces in her own size to begin with, and with her great figure, everything suited her well. I'll take all of these. The shop assistant eagerly carried her selections over to the checkout counter, scanned each barcode, neatly folded them, and placed them into shopping bags before handing them to Jiang Baiwei. That will be 12,560.9 yuan in total, madam. This sum meant almost nothing to Jiang Baiwei. She pulled out her card and handed it to the assistant. Once the payment went through, she picked up her bags and headed for the next store. Ding! Jiang Baiwei has purchased 3 dresses, 1 sleeveless top, 1 pair of shorts, and 2 camisole tops. Congratulations, host. You have received 30 dresses, 10 sleeveless tops, 10 pairs of shorts, and 20 camisole tops. Lin Qingxue had not yet reached her accommodation when she heard the system prompt. She focused her mind, and the system panel unfolded before her eyes. On the panel, she could see the clothes Jiang Baiwei had bought. Many of them were quite revealing. Lin Qingxue's usual dressing style was completely different from Jiang Baiwei's, so she had no use for these items. Convert all of these into cash. With money, I can buy things that suit me and that I actually like. Understood, host. Host, the clothing you just obtained has been successfully exchanged. 125,609 yuan has been credited to your account. Please check your balance. Lin Qingxue was shocked. How much? 125,609 yuan. Can these few items of clothing really be worth that much? Yes. The original price for what Jiang Baiwei bought was 12,560.9 yuan. You received 10 times that amount. That is correct. Lin Qingxue was truly stunned. Back in the cafe, she had already guessed Jiang Baiwei was doing well for herself out in the world, but she had never imagined she would spend over 10,000 yuan just on a casual shopping trip for clothes. Back in her hometown, even buying something that cost a few dozen yuan would draw criticism for wasting money. Many pieces hanging in her old closet had been worn for years, and she had never dared to spend freely when out shopping. Buying clothes was only the start for Jiang Baiwei today. Besides garments, she planned to get cosmetics, jewelry, and handbags as well. Carrying several shopping bags in her hands, she walked past a jewelry shop. The glitter of the items inside caught her eye, and she stepped inside without hesitation. Display cases held all kinds of jewelry, shining brilliantly and breathtakingly beautiful. Jiang Baiwei already owned several pieces of jewelry, yet she could hardly tear herself away once she laid eyes on these. She halted in front of one display case and pointed at a bracelet. This one looks nice. Please take it out for me to see. Wearing gloves, the shop assistant carefully took out the bracelet. Would you like to try it on? Jiang Baiwei immediately held out her hand. She wanted to see how it looked when worn. Gently and politely, the assistant fastened the diamond bracelet around her wrist. It looks stunning. It suits you perfectly. Jiang Baiwei admired her fair hand. Set off by the diamond bracelet, her skin appeared even paler and her fingers more slender. Back in her hometown, her parents had kept her busy with endless chores. Though she had been young then, her hands had not looked nearly so lovely. After years away from home, she rarely did housework. Now that she had money, she took great care of herself, and her hands were well nurtured, looking good with anything she wore. I agree. I'll take this bracelet. I'd like to look at some others. Please take your time. Stores like this seldom had crowds of customers. Often there were more shop assistants than shoppers. Working this job every day, the staff had learned to read customers. They could tell Jiang Baiwei had strong purchasing power, so they treated her with the utmost courtesy. Jiang Baiwei moved to other glass display cases and examined many more pieces. She selected 2 necklaces, a pair of drop earrings, and a ring. Please help me try all of these on. Certainly. She sat down, and 2 or 3 assistants gathered around her, thoughtfully helping her try on each piece. She was already exquisitely dressed. Adorned with the jewelry, she barely recognized her own reflection in the mirror, a satisfied smile playing on her lips. They look wonderful. The shop assistant smiled and praised her. You are beautiful and have such great poise. Every piece looks marvelous on you. Jiang Baiwei knew they were trying to encourage a sale, yet everyone enjoyed hearing kind words. She had already been in high spirits, and now she felt even happier. I will take everything I just tried on. Please wrap them up for me. I'll pay now. Very well, please wait a moment. Several assistants carefully placed her selected jewelry into elegant boxes. Jiang Baiwei paid without the slightest hesitation. This purchase cost far more than her clothing. Altogether it came to several 100,000 yuan. Still, she felt no sting. Looking her best allowed her to meet wealthier people and earn more money in return. This was an investment in herself, not mere spending. Ding. Jiang Baiwei has purchased 1 bracelet, 2 necklaces, 1 pair of drop earrings, and 1 ring. Congratulations, host. You have received 10 bracelets, 20 necklaces, 20 pairs of drop earrings, and 10 rings. Lin Qingxue heard the prompt just as she stepped through the door of her rental place. The first thing she did after entering was check on her daughter. The little girl lay sound asleep in bed. Only then did Lin Qingxue turn her attention to her new rewards. The system panel was filled with glittering items that were clearly extremely valuable. But Lin Qingxue had no interest in jewelry. Right now she only wanted more money, so she could secure stable housing for herself and her daughter and build a safe, peaceful life. Ornaments were non-essentials. System, convert all this jewelry into cash. Understood, host. The bracelets, necklaces, drop earrings and ring have been exchanged successfully. 7,230,000 yuan has been credited to your account. Please check your balance. Lin Qingxue caught her breath in shock. 7,230,000? That is correct. Everything Jiang Baiwei bought totaled 723,000 yuan. You received 10 times that amount upon conversion. The system does not make mistakes. Lin Qingxue could not speak for a long moment. When she had first spotted Jiang Baiwei at the mall, she could tell the woman was doing well. But she had never guessed she was this affluent. She had spent more than 700,000 yuan just buying jewelry on a casual shopping outing. That sum would buy a very nice house back in her hometown. Lin Qingxue opened her phone and checked her account balance. Her heart thumped wildly with excitement at seeing over 7 million yuan added to her funds. Jiang Baiwei alone generated far more rewards than several of the previous people she had been linked to. With this money, she and her daughter would be well provided for a very long time. Back at the shopping mall, Jiang Baiwei was still out and about, carrying numerous elegant shopping bags. Shopping brought her immense joy. Even in high-heeled shoes, she felt no fatigue. She took the elevator up to the 5th floor and spotted a dessert shop. She walked straight inside, planning to sit down for something to eat before continuing to browse other floors. Over the years working at the bar, she had met many wealthy young men. She had no qualms about improving her financial position, and as a result she was quite well off. Once inside, she ordered food and drinks without glancing at the prices, choosing only what appealed to her. She set her shopping bags on an empty chair beside her. Before long, a shop assistant brought her order over. Holding a small spoon, Jiang Baiwei slowly ate her dessert. She had always had a sweet tooth, sugary treats lifted her mood. Whenever she went shopping, she almost always stopped by places like this. After sleeping for quite a while, Lin Qingxue's daughter slowly opened her eyes. Seeing someone beside her, she stretched out her tiny hands, babbling and drooling at the corners of her mouth. Lin Qingxue gently lifted her daughter and soothed her. Are you hungry, baby? Mommy will make your milk formula. She had just stood up to get the feeding bottle when another system prompt arrived. Ding. Jiang Baiwei has ordered 1 dessert and 1 glass of fruit juice. Congratulations, host. You have received 10 desserts and 10 glasses of fruit juice. Lin Qingxue kept moving. She first prepared the milk bottle and let her daughter drink, then checked her new prizes. From the pictures shown on the system panel, the food looked delicious. Lin Qingxue had never had treats like these when she lived in her hometown. Now that she held millions in savings, she could easily afford such food, so she decided not to convert them right away. She wanted to try them for herself. Using her mind, she summoned 1 dessert and 1 glass of fruit juice out of the system. She scooped up a spoonful of the dessert and tasted it. The rich, sweet flavor delighted her taste buds. It was wonderful. She took another spoonful. Though the taste was sweet, her eyes stung all of a sudden. What a hard life she had led before. So many delicious things had been out of her reach. The system gave her what no one else, not even she herself, could provide. Without it, she would never have found the courage to run away. Even if she had escaped with her daughter, survival would have been nearly impossible. Her current life was so good it felt almost unreal. After a full day at work, Lin Qingyang felt completely worn out. It was not physically demanding labor, but he had spent too much time lounging at home. Even moderate work drained him. Staying home in air conditioning playing video games felt far better. The factory did not provide meals. After finishing work in the evening, nearly all workers headed home to eat or grabbed food outside. He rode his electric scooter out of the parking lot when Zhang Lan called him. Finished work? Yeah, I'm heading home now. Pick up some groceries on your way back. We have nothing left at home. Since you are already out, I don't feel like going out again. What should I get? Some eggs, plus fruit. I will make fruit puree for the baby. Get whatever else you feel like eating. All right, I'll stop by the supermarket. He hung up and rode toward the supermarket. It was the evening rush hour and the supermarket was crowded. Lin Qingyang grabbed a shopping basket as he walked in. He needed to buy his groceries and head straight home so the others could cook. He did not have time to push a trolley and wander. He would grab what he needed and leave. Following Zhang Lan's instructions, he first placed a carton of eggs into his basket, then selected kiwi fruit, bananas, and apples, all suitable for making baby food. At the meat and seafood section he paused. No specific dinner menu had been set for the household. Lin Qingyang loved meat. He felt listless without it. He picked up several jin of beef, 2 jin of prawns, as well as potatoes, green peppers, tomatoes, and broccoli. Soon his basket was piled high, heavy in his hands. Everything he bought would serve for their dinner and leave leftovers for 1 or 2 more meals the next day. He carried his groceries to the checkout, paid, and left the supermarket with a large bag in hand. Back at the rental apartment, Lin Qingxue stared at the stock of ingredients in her system panel, trying to decide what to cook for dinner. Then another reward notification popped up. Ding! Lin Qingyang has purchased 1 carton of eggs, 8 kiwi fruit, 10 bananas, 8 apples, 3 jin of beef, 2 jin of prawns, 2 and a half jin of potatoes, 1 and a half jin of green peppers, 2 jin of tomatoes, and 1 head of broccoli. Congratulations, host. You have received 10 cartons of eggs, 80 kiwi fruit, 100 bananas, 80 apples, 30 jin of beef, 20 jin of prawns, 25 jin of potatoes, 15 jin of green peppers, 20 jin of tomatoes, and 10 heads of broccoli. With so many new ingredients added, Lin Qingxue no longer needed to deliberate. She mentally retrieved a piece of beef, 2 potatoes, 2 tomatoes, and 4 eggs. Tonight she planned beef stew with potatoes and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Her daughter would drink milk formula, so she only needed to cook for herself. 2 dishes were more than enough. Cooking extra would only lead to waste. Her flatmates rarely cooked, so she almost always had the kitchen to herself. Through the transparent pot lid, she watched the broth for her beef stew bubble gently. A rich aroma drifted out around the edge of the lid. Lin Qingxue breathed it in, feeling deeply content. She mentally took out a banana, peeled it, and ate it while waiting for her food to finish cooking. She cherished her present life. She could eat well every single day, free from the emotional turmoil brought by difficult people. Once her dishes were ready, she carried them into her room and sat down to eat. Meanwhile, Lin Qingyang arrived home and lifted his shopping bag off his electric scooter. Zhang Lan had already cooked rice, waiting only for him to bring back ingredients. What did you buy? Let me see. We'll have beef tonight. Zhang Lan opened the bag and saw all the groceries. Beef from the supermarket is expensive, isn't it? Lin Qingyang nodded. It sure is. The beef alone cost almost 200 yuan, but I really craved it. I feel terrible without meat. Since her son wanted it, Zhang Lan said nothing against it. She set aside the beef and potatoes for tonight's meal and stored the rest in the refrigerator. Zhou Yuan sat on the sofa. Glancing at him, she let out a sigh. You spend so freely on food for yourself, hundreds of yuan without blinking. Yet you complain whenever I want to buy clothes. Lin Qingyang frowned. What kind of talk is that? You will eat the food we cook, won't you? Clothes can wait, but people have to eat. Must it be such expensive food? Simple stir, fried vegetables would fill our stomachs just fine. Hundreds for one dinner. I wonder how much you actually earn each month. Lin Qingyang could hear the underlying criticism of his salary. He was worn out after a full day's work, and coming home to these remarks filled him with irritation. If you think it is so little, go earn money yourself. Tell me how much you could bring home. Haven't you seen how busy I am? With such a small baby, what kind of job could I possibly hold? That's just an excuse. Real capability means earning money while looking after a child. If you cannot manage both, that is your own shortcoming. His words fueled her anger. Why don't you try it? Show me how you can work and care for a baby at the same time. I am a man. Being a man is nothing special. Zhou Yuan raised her voice. Zhang Lan, who had been cooking in the kitchen, came out upon hearing their shouting. What are you two arguing about now? Lin Qingyang shot a glance toward the sofa. She's complaining I don't earn enough. Zhang Lan frowned at her daughter-in-law. Zhou Yuan, Qingyang works hard all day out in the factory. You ought to be more understanding. Before you married him, you barely earned any money either. At least my son holds a steady job. You stay home and still find things to complain about. Stay home and enjoy myself? Zhou Yuan nearly laughed in frustration. Running around after an infant all day is enjoyment? Hardly buying new clothes for almost a year and getting criticized when I do, is that your idea of a good life? If you think childcare is easy fun, you take care of the baby and I will go to work. Zhang Lan refused. Raising children is a mother's duty. It is not my job. People my age usually receive money from their children and go traveling. Instead of giving me support, You expect me to look after your baby. That is hardly reasonable. Before we married, you kept saying you wanted a grandson. Now that the baby is born, you talk about helping me, as if this child is only my responsibility. Lin Qingyang could bear it no longer and cut them off. Enough. Mom works hard cooking. You look after the baby yourself. We cannot expect an older person to exhaust herself every single day. She might fall ill from overwork. Zhou Yuan huffed and glared at him. Were you this blindly obedient to your mother before marriage? If you worry about her getting tired, pitch in more around the house. Before you got this job, you stayed home playing games all day and never lifted a finger. Lin Qingyang rubbed his temples, running his fingers through his hair. I worked hard all day at the factory. I want to rest when I get home. Can you not pick fights? Right, of course. Everything is my fault, and you and your mother are always perfect. Furious, Zhou Yuan picked up the baby, walked into the bedroom, and slammed the door shut. When dinner was ready, she did not come out. The fragrant beef and potato stew was set on the table. Lin Qingyang sat down and began eating without calling her. After a tiring day at work, he had no wish to soothe her temper. Let her sulk. If she refused food, she would be the one to suffer. He wondered how long she could keep this up. Zhang Lan sat down and paid no mind to her daughter-in-law's absence. She pushed the plate of beef toward Lin Qingyang. Since this is what you like, eat plenty. Lin Qingyang helped himself heartily. He ate through nearly half the plate of beef. Zhang Lan ate mostly potatoes while glancing toward the bedroom door every so often. Is she really not coming out for dinner? Let her be. Lin Qingyang scowled. If she does not want to eat, so be it. Plenty of women manage both work and childcare. She does not even have a job, yet she throws tantrums. Zhang Lan was pleased by her son's reaction. She was glad he would not automatically side with his wife and recognized how hard his mother worked. By the end of the meal, most of the food had been finished. Zhang Lan had eaten almost only potatoes. Lin Qingyang had consumed nearly all the beef. After dinner, Zhang Lan took the dishes to the kitchen and washed them. No one bothered whether Zhou Yuan would go hungry skipping supper. After receiving a large sum payment from Jiang Baiwei during their previous encounter outside, Lin Qingxue did not step out of the house for several consecutive days. That sum of money alone was enough for her and her daughter to live comfortably for a long time, so she did not have to worry too much about finances for the time being. Jiang Baiwei had far higher spending power than most people, and more gains would surely come her way in the future. One afternoon, Lin Qingxue was in her room playing with her daughter when her phone suddenly rang. It was Jiang Baiwei. Hey, Qingxue. Are you busy today? Not really. I'm just playing with my kid. Oh, send me your address. I'm free this afternoon, and I'd like to come over to see you and the baby. Sure, I'll send it right over. Got it. Jiang Baiwei hung up right after speaking. Once she had the address, Jiang Baiwei headed out to the supermarket. Since she was visiting an old friend with a small child, she could hardly show up empty-handed. She had to bring some gifts. She pushed a shopping cart around the supermarket and picked up quite a few items. There were bird's nest and fish maw gift sets, great for nourishing a woman who had recently given birth. She also bought 2 cartons of pure milk, 1 carton of wellness tea, big, brand baby diapers, 2 sets of baby clothes, and a cute plush toy. All these things took up plenty of space, and the cart was soon piled high. Jiang Baiwei pushed the cart to the checkout counter, paid, then took a taxi toward Lin Qingxue's place. Lin Qingxue had just finished soothing her baby and tidied up the house when the system prompt sounded. Ding! Jiang Baiwei has purchased 2 bird's nest and fish maw gift sets, 2 cartons of pure milk, 1 carton of wellness tea, 2 large packs of diapers, 2 sets of baby clothing, and 1 plush toy. Congratulations, host. You have received 20 bird's nest and fish maw gift sets, 20 cartons of pure milk, 10 cartons of wellness tea, 20 packs of diapers, 20 sets of baby clothing, and 10 plush toys. When they had run into each other at the mall, Jiang Baiwei had indeed mentioned dropping by sometime. Back then Lin Qingxue had not taken it seriously, assuming it was just polite small talk between friends. She had not expected Jiang Baiwei to actually remember the promise and show up with so many gifts. Shortly after the prompt ended, there was a knock at the door. Lin Qingxue hurried over and opened it. Jiang Baiwei stood there with her hands full of bags, wearing a bright smile. I'm here. Come on in. You've bought so many things. These are for the baby. Let me in quickly, I want to see the little one. Lin Qingxue led Jiang Baiwei into her bedroom. The baby had just finished her bottle and lay on the bed, waving her tiny hands and feet in the air. Jiang Baiwei sat down on the edge of the bed and teased the baby with the plush toy. She's so adorable, so tiny. Looking at her daughter, Lin Qingshue's lips curved upward. Her ex-partner and mother-in-law had been terrible, but this child was the fruit of all her hardship. To her, the baby could not be more precious, and she wanted to give her every good thing in the world. Jiang Baiwei gently brushed her finger against the baby's soft cheek. May I hold her? Of course. Will she start crying? Probably not. She's pretty easy going. She only cries when she's hungry or needs changing. Otherwise, she's quite calm. Reassured, Jiang Baiwei carefully lifted the baby into her arms, moving very slowly for fear of upsetting her. The infant showed no wariness toward the stranger. As Jiang Baiwei played with her, she giggled every now and then. She's such a joy. She smiles so easily. Woo, the baby babbled indistinctly. Jiang Baiwei mimicked her tone, making similar babbling sounds. By the way, Qingxue, what's her name? Linxia. Linxia? What a lovely name. She was born on the summer solstice, so I named her Linxia. That's wonderful. Holding the baby in her arms, Jiang Baiwei glanced around the neat, tidy room. Are you renting this place? Yes. The rent must be steep. Lin Qingxue nodded. Just this one room costs several thousand a month. Housing prices in Haiqing have always been high. Make do for now, and you can move into something better once you can afford it. That's exactly what I'm planning to do. When she first arrived in Haiqing, she had not had much money, so renting had been her only option. Now that she had come into several million, Lin Qingxue was thinking about buying a nicer home once she accumulated more funds. For now, though, the baby was still very young. It was hard for her to go out and do anything because she worried constantly that the baby would start crying if she stepped away for even a short while. Jiang Baiwei rocked the baby for a while before laying her back down on the bed. Since we're in the same city now, I don't have many friends around. We've known each other for years. If you or Xia ever run into trouble, you can reach out to me anytime. I'll help however I can. Jiang Baiwei did not know every detail of what Lin Qingxue had gone through after getting married, but she could guess that life with her in-laws had been brutal. Otherwise, Lin Qingxue would never have run away with her baby before she had fully recovered from childbirth. A woman fresh out of childbirth was physically and emotionally vulnerable. Moving to a big city all alone would inevitably bring many hardships. Gratitude shone in Lin Qingxue's eyes. Thank you. Don't be like that. We're both women. I don't have kids myself, but I truly understand where you are right now. Hard times don't last. You and Xia will have smooth days ahead. As for that man, he may not fare so well. He's unlikely to find a good partner. No matter what he says or does, don't ever go back. A good life with your child doesn't require a man. I know. Even without Jiang Baiwei's words, Lin Qingxue had no intention of turning back. She had left with complete resolve, and she had felt zero regret in all the days since. Fleeing that household would have been all for nothing if she went back. Her daughter was enough for her. She only wanted to build a good life for herself and the baby, and she would never return to that home to be treated like a housekeeper and child-bearing tool. Shortly after Lin Xia was laid back on the bed, her eyelids began to flutter. She was growing sleepy. Noticing this, Jiang Baiwei lowered her voice. Qingxue, I only came to visit. The baby looks ready for a nap, so I won't stay long. I'll send you my address. Feel free to drop by whenever you have time. Okay. Lin Qingxue's phone pinged. A new address had been sent. Is this your own apartment? Yes. Once I started making decent money, I didn't want to rent anymore, so I bought a small 2-bedroom. It's comfortable enough. I plan to look for a bigger place soon, and I'll let you know if I move. That's amazing. Keep it up. Sure. Jiang Baiwei stood up from beside the bed and glanced at the sleeping baby one last time. Seeing Lin Qingxue walking her toward the door, she spoke again. No need to see me out. Take good care of yourself and the baby. I will. Stay safe on your way back. When Lin Qingxue returned to the bedroom, the baby was fast asleep, her little mouth twitching every so often in her slumber. It was an endearing sight. Lin Qingxue checked the new items added to her system panel and thought about what to keep and what to exchange for cash. She would keep the bird's nest, milk, and wellness tea for herself and the diapers for the baby. 20 sets of baby clothes were far more than she needed. The baby already had plenty, and infants outgrew clothes quickly. Those outfits would not fit her next year anyway. 10 plush toys were also unnecessary. Exchange these 20 sets of baby clothes and 10 plush toys. Understood, host. 20 sets of baby clothes and 10 plush toys have been exchanged. 8,320 yuan has been transferred to your account. Jiang Baiwei had spent a great deal on this visit. Just 2 sets of baby clothes and 1 plush toy had cost more than 800 yuan. It was truly fortunate to have such a friend out in the world. It was past 11 at night. Lin Qingxue had lain down to rest. Ding! Zhao Hongkai has purchased a full body massage package worth 1,589 yuan. Congratulations, host. You have received 10 full body massage packages worth 1,589 yuan each. Lin Qingxue's eyes flew open at once. She had cut off all contact with him after leaving, yet the system kept her updated on his activities. Exchange them. Understood, host. Exchange completed. 15,890 yuan has been transferred to your account. With that done, Lin Qingxue closed her eyes again. Even before she left him, she had grown indifferent to Zhao Hongkai's behavior. Now she cared even less. That night, Zhao Hongkai met up with a group of friends for drinks and stayed out late. He did not come home at all. He woke up the next morning with a pounding headache and took a shower to sober up. Fortunately, it was his day off, so he had no work to miss. Once he was dressed, he headed home. Qin Geyuan sat on the sofa watching television. She noticed her son had spent the night away and asked, "Has work been very busy lately?" "Yeah," Zhao Hongkai nodded. "Lots of assignments. I worked overtime till past midnight. I didn't want to travel back and forth, so I slept on a fold-out bed at the office." A few other colleagues who were also working overtime did the same. Qin Geyuan did not press him further. She harbored some doubts about his overtime story, but since her daughter-in-law had run off, a young man needed ways to unwind. Even if he had misbehaved, she would not blame him. She would only silently resent Lin Qingxue. Zhao Hongkai was about to head to his bedroom to catch up on sleep when Qin Geyuan called him back. "Come here. I need to talk to you about something." Zhao Hongkai paused. "What is it?" "I spoke with your older sister today. She knows an unmarried young woman. Would you be interested in meeting her?" Zhao Hongkai stared. "You want me to go on a blind date? What's wrong with that? Lin Qingxue is gone. You're still young. You can't stay single forever. Someone needs to handle household chores, and I want another grandson. Of course you should date and remarry." Zhao Hongkai had thought about remarrying, but he had not expected his mother to arrange it so quickly. Still, he did not resist. "What are her circumstances? What does she look like? Has she been married before?" "Your sister says she's pretty, in her 20s, has a stable job, and has never dated anyone. What about my situation? Won't she mind?" "Your sister didn't tell her anything. Don't bring up the past when you meet. You only had a wedding ceremony, never a marriage certificate. Legally you are unmarried. If no one mentions Lin Qingxue and the baby, the girl will never find out." Zhao Hongkai thought for only 2 or 3 seconds before agreeing. "Arrange it. I don't mind. Finding a new partner quickly would be convenient. Going out to enjoy himself all the time cost money. A steady girlfriend would save him trouble and expense. I'll call your sister right away and have her set up a meeting time." Qin Geyuan noticed the dark circles under his eyes. "You look worn out. Go get some rest. I'll let you know once plans are confirmed." "All right." Zhao Hongkai walked to his bedroom. Saturday at Zhao Lingling's home. Zhao Hongkai and Qin Geyuan had arrived. The blind date girl had not shown up yet. Zhao Lingling lectured her brother and mother several times. "I haven't breathed a word about the past. Neither of you should bring it up. If it comes out, she will definitely take offense." Qin Geyuan and Zhao Hongkai nodded. "Don't worry, we won't say anything. Let Lin Qingxue be gone. As long as she stayed out of sight, everything would be fine." A moment later, the doorbell rang. That must be her. Zhao Lingling hurried to open the door and broke into a wide smile. "Wenwen, come in. My brother is already here." Zhuang Wen stepped inside with a gentle smile and greeted everyone in the room. "Good afternoon, Auntie everyone." Qin Geyuan smiled warmly. "Hello, Wenwen. Please have a seat. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting." "No trouble at all. We just got here ourselves." Zhao Hongkai offered a polite greeting. He took a good look at her the moment she walked in. Zhuang Wen was indeed quite attractive, even better looking than he had anticipated. It was summer, and she wore a dress that suited her figure. In his eyes, she looked far better than Lin Qingxue had after childbirth. Zhao Lingling was eager to keep the conversation flowing. "Sit down, Wenwen. I'll get you some water. No need to trouble yourself, Lingjie." Zhuang Wen sat down on the sofa. Since it was their first meeting, lulls in conversation were inevitable. Zhao Lingling stepped in to lighten the mood. Wen, feel free to ask whatever you'd like. This meeting is just for you two to get to know each other. My brother isn't very experienced with women. He's a little shy, but rest assured, he is a good-natured person. Zhao Hongkai felt a twinge of guilt hearing those words, but he kept his eyes lowered so no one could read his true feelings. Since this was their first encounter, Zhuang Wen could not closely study his expressions. She had known Zhao Lingling for some time and trusted her not to mislead her. Chen Guiyuan was pleased with the young woman. Afraid the two young people would run out of things to say, she struck up conversation. Wen, do you work alongside Lingling? Zhuang Wen shook her head. We used to be colleagues, but I left that job for another position. We kept in touch. A few days ago Lingling told me her brother was single and suggested we meet, so I agreed. You seem like such a nice girl. You're too kind, Auntie. The adults chatted casually on the sofa until Chen Zheng ran out from one of the rooms holding a toy gun. He stopped beside Zhao Hongkai. Where's my new aunt-in-law? Zhao Lingling rushed over, covered her son's mouth, and dragged him back into the bedroom. Chen Zheng was confused. Mom, what are you doing? Why did you come running out in the middle of grown-ups talk? It's boring in my room. Can I come out? You can play once we are finished, Zhao Lingling warned him. Don't say silly things. Okay. Chen Zheng still did not understand what he had done wrong. Aunt-in-law. Zhuang Wen looked confused. Chen Guiyuan's heart skipped a beat. Children say whatever pops into their heads. After sorting out her son, Zhao Lingling hurried back to the living room to explain. Wen, please don't take it to heart. My boy is mischievous. We told him earlier we were introducing my brother to a girl. He thought that meant you were automatically his new aunt-in-law. Kids don't understand. Just ignore it. Zhuang Wen nodded in understanding. It's fine. They spent the rest of the time learning about each other's jobs and family backgrounds. The blind date drew to a close. Neither side would give a final answer right away. They would go home first and relay their thoughts through the matchmaker. Chen Guiyuan and Zhao Lingling walked Zhuang Wen all the way to the door and watched her leave before returning inside. As soon as they were back in the living room, Chen Guiyuan turned to Zhao Hongkai. Well, what do you think? She's nice. Physical appearance mattered most to him. She was pretty and had a good figure, so he was willing to get to know her further. Zhao Lingling was delighted. Great. I hope Zhuang Wen feels the same way. If she's interested, I'll pass your contact information to each other, so you two can start dating. All right. Chen Guiyuan gave him many reminders. If this works out, watch what you say while you date. Never mention the past. As long as nobody talks, it's as if it never happened. Once you are married and have children, even if the truth comes out later, she won't be able to do much about it. I get it, Mom. Zhao Lingling also gave him plenty of advice. Both mother and sister stood firmly on Zhao Hongkai's side. Shortly after the blind date ended, Chen Guiyuan and Zhao Hongkai took their leave of Zhao Lingling's house. Once they were gone, Chen Chuang stepped out of the bedroom. He watched Zhao Lingling sit down on the sofa and let out a quiet huff. All of you ganging up to pull this trick. Aren't you afraid the girl will find out and confront you someday? Zhao Lingling frowned. What trick? As long as none of us talk, who will know? Besides, my brother only had a wedding ceremony, no legal marriage certificate. Legally, he is unmarried. He met Lin Qingxue through a matchmaker too. It was never a real romantic relationship. I haven't lied to Zhuang Wen. Chen Chuang had to admire that twisted logic. He gave her a sarcastic thumbs up. You've got quite an argument there. I warn you not to blab. I have no reason to. I don't even know Zhuang Wen, and I barely interact with your brother. I have no motivation to go running my mouth. I'm just warning you, if this blows up later, you and your mother deal with the consequences. Don't drag our household into trouble. Zhao Lingling shot him an angry glare. We've been married for years and have a child. Why do you keep saying, your mother? Isn't my mother your mother too? I don't want to argue about this. Chen Chuang went to the bathroom, then returned to their bedroom. When the two families were together, he would politely call Chen Guiyuan mom, but deep down she would never mean the same to him as his birth mother. After leaving Zhao Lingling's place, Zhuang Wen met up with her best friend at a milk tea shop. As soon as she saw her, Zhu Sha asked, how did the blind date go? It was okay, nothing special. What does he look like? Is he handsome? He's not strikingly good looking, but he's not unattractive either. Then why not give it a try? It's just dating, not an immediate marriage. Get to know him. If it clicks, great. If not, walk away. You have a point. We barely scratched the surface today. I only learned basic facts about him. What about his family? What are his parents like? That's really important. Otherwise, you'll end up with endless conflicts later on. Zhuang Wen thought back to what had happened at Zhao Lingling's place. Her mother was there during the blind date. She seemed really easygoing and spoke very gently. That's promising. If you don't dislike him, you could give things a go. Lots of people aren't good at showing their best side on a first meeting. You only get to discover their strengths as you spend more time together. You're right. But some people are skilled at putting on an act. They might not reveal their flaws even after dating for a long while. That's true. You can test him. How? What other way is there? Get him to spend money on you. Men are pretty straightforward. Where their money goes, their heart follows. A man who spends on you might not love you, but a man who refuses to spend on you definitely doesn't. The period before marriage is when he'll treat you best. If he's unwilling to spend money while dating, don't expect him to treat you well after you tie the knot. Besides, you bring emotional support to the relationship, so it's only reasonable for him to spend some money on you. Even if you break up later, you'll have gained something and won't lose out, won't you? Zhuang Wen pondered her words seriously. That makes perfect sense. Zhu Xia grinned. We've been friends for years. Of course, I'll help you work things out when something like this comes up. We're best friends. I'll call the matchmaker later and say I'm willing to give it a try. I want to see how this man performs. If he meets my expectations, I'd consider marrying him. If not, we'll split up. That's the spirit. It was a day off. Zhao Lingling stayed home watching TV on the sofa, glancing at her phone every now and then. Zhao Hongkai had already agreed to pursue Zhuang Wen. All they needed now was her reply. Whether she was interested or not, she ought to send word. Suddenly her phone rang. Seeing Zhuang Wen's name on the screen, Zhao Lingling quickly grabbed the remote and turned off the television. Hi Wen, have you made up your mind? Lingjia, I was just about to talk to you about this. I think he's quite nice, so I'd like to try dating him. But I need to say this up front. Please don't blame me if things don't work out between us. Of course I won't. I only introduced the two of you. Whether it works out depends entirely on you two. If you aren't compatible, I won't hold it against anyone. It just means you aren't right for each other. It's no big deal. That's a relief. All right then. I'll pass your contact information to my brother right away. You can add each other and plan to meet up for meals or outings. Thank you, Lingjia. No need to be so polite. I'll let him know now. Okay. When Zhao Hongkai got home and received the message from Zhao Lingling, Chen Guiyuan was overjoyed. I knew it. My son is such a great catch. Even without Lin Qingxue, you'll definitely find someone. Zhao Hongkai was happy too. We don't know how things will go yet. We've only met once. I have no idea what her personality is like. If we break up after a few months, it'll just be wasted time. Put your best foot forward and win her over, then you won't have anything to worry about. All right. Don't just stand there. Since she's agreed to date you, you need to take the initiative as the man. It's your day off today. Ask her out to chat and wander around to get closer. If you can solidify your relationship early on, she might be more flexible when we discuss the betrothal gifts later. Chen Guiyuan had come up with this plan ever since her son went on the blind date. Their family didn't have much money, and marrying another woman would cost a lot. They wanted to save wherever possible. While a committed early relationship didn't guarantee lower demands for betrothal gifts, many families would choose to compromise to avoid unnecessary complications for their daughter. I'll message her right away. After adding Zhuang Wen as a friend, Zhao Hongkai took the initiative to invite her out. Zhuang Wen had already agreed to date him, so she naturally accepted his invitation. She also planned to spend more time with Zhao Hongkai, hoping to see what he was willing to offer. It would let her test his sincerity and bring her some benefits. That way she wouldn't lose anything even if they separated later. Zhuang Wen picked the location for their first date. After receiving her message, Zhao Hongkai headed straight for the agreed address. They met at a small square outside the shopping mall. When Zhao Hongkai saw her, he smiled. Do you live close by? Sort of. Let's go inside. I want to pick up some clothes today. Sure, I'll come shopping with you. Zhao Hongkai agreed out loud, but his mind was already turning to the question of who would pay for anything they bought. Their first date was set at a shopping mall, so shopping expenses were inevitable. As the man, he couldn't flatly refuse, or he would leave a bad impression. Still, they had only just met. There was no guarantee they would stay together long term. Zhao Hongkai hated the idea of spending money on a blind date candidate, fearing he would waste cash for nothing in the end. Lost in these tangled thoughts, he followed Zhuang Wen into the mall. The mall was lined with clothing stores, most of them high-end brands. Zhuang Wen walked straight into one shop and began browsing the racks. Zhao Hongkai followed behind, glancing repeatedly at the price tags. Most items were several hundred yuan, and some cost over 1,000. Sweat pricked his forehead. He was terrified she would pick something expensive. After browsing for a while, Zhuang Wen selected a dress and held it up against herself. Do you think this looks good? Zhao Hongkai kept his expression calm, hiding his true feelings well. It suits you. It'll bring out your complexion and look very elegant. Though he spoke warmly, he was already starting to feel annoyed with Zhuang Wen. What a pointless question. Even if he thought it looked terrible, he couldn't say so. He also suspected she cared too much about money. Choosing a shopping mall for their first date was surely a calculated move. She knew he would hesitate to refuse paying so early on. Zhuang Wen studied her reflection. I like it too. I'll take this one. She walked with the shop assistant to the checkout counter and slowly opened the payment app on her phone. Zhao Hongkai stepped up beside her. Let me get this. Zhuang Wen smiled. That's not necessary. I can pay for myself. She said she would settle the bill, yet she made no move to pull up her payment code. Zhao Hongkai opened his own code and held it out. We're out shopping together. I can't let the girl pay. I've got it. Zhuang Wen was pleased. I really appreciate this. I'll buy you a drink later. Don't worry about it. The important thing is that we enjoy ourselves. The assistant scanned the item, and 688 yuan left his account. Zhao Hongkai's heart ached. He was attracted to Zhuang Wen's looks and figure, but beautiful women came with downsides. They liked spending money. They had only just started seeing each other, and she already wanted such an expensive dress. If they kept shopping, how much more would he have to spend? Zhao Hongkai kept calculating silently. He didn't want to keep spending, yet it was still early in their outing. He couldn't leave immediately. Zhuang Wen carried the shopping bag as they walked out of the clothing store. This floor mainly sold apparel, with a beverage shop roughly in the middle. Zhuang Wen walked over and bought 2 fruit juices, handing one to Zhao Hongkai. Have something to drink. Zhao Hongkai smiled and took the cup, sipping through the straw. Empty words. He had spent nearly 700 yuan on her dress, and all she offered him was a cheap fruit juice. She took so much while giving so little in return. She was certainly shrewd. They wandered slowly through the mall while drinking. Zhuang Wen's eyes scanned the surroundings, and she quickened her pace when another clothing store caught her attention. That shop looks nice. Come look with me. All right. Zhuang Wen walked ahead and failed to notice Zhao Hongkai's darkened expression. None of the shops here were cheap. Now she wanted to browse again, and he dreaded how much more money he might have to pay. He only earned a few thousand yuan each month. Part of that went to living expenses for Chengge Yuan, and he occasionally hung out with his friends. He had few other costs. On their very first date, Zhuang Wen was already asking him to buy things left and right. Inside the store, Zhuang Wen browsed the racks just as she had before. She picked out several pieces and headed to the fitting room to try them on. Zhao Hongkai watched her closely. This time she had selected far more items: dresses, blouses, and trousers, around 5 or 6 pieces in total. When they reached the checkout, he stared as the cashier scanned each tag. After tallying the total, the cashier greeted them politely. That will be 3,250 yuan, please. Zhao Hongkai's heart skipped a beat. This was getting ridiculous. The previous dress had cost almost 700, and this batch added up to more than 3,000. Learning from the earlier exchange, Zhuang Wen did not pull out her phone to pay. She simply stood beside him, waiting for him to settle the bill. Zhuang Wen thought she had already bought him juice, so it was only right for him to cover her purchases. As the man, it was expected of him this early in their relationship. Zhao Hongkai's face turned glum, but he pulled up his payment code to save face. His hand holding the phone grew slightly clammy. He had never spent so much money on clothing for himself. Zhuang Wen grinned happily when she saw him pay without hesitation. She wore a smile all the way out of the shop with her shopping bags. I'm sorry you had to spend so much today. Zhao Hongkai shook his head with a forced smile. Don't mention it. I'm lucky to be dating you. It's only natural to buy you things when we go out. Let's look around some more. You've bought me quite a few items already, and I'd like to pick out some new clothes for you too. No need. Men don't need fancy outfits. My main responsibility is to work hard, earn money, and provide a comfortable life for my family. Appearance isn't important. Zhuang Wen's opinion of him rose. He seemed like a family-oriented man. Some men were selfish, spending freely on themselves, but refusing to buy anything for their partners. Zhao Hengkai was not like that. Shall we get dinner soon? Sure. What would you like to eat? There are lots of restaurants upstairs. Let's go check them out. I can't decide right off the bat. Okay, whatever you want. Zhao Hengkai agreed readily on the surface, but inwardly, he was complaining constantly. Lin Qingxue had been having a pleasant few days. She had plenty of money on hand, and after living in the rental flat for a while, she was used to the place. She enjoyed every day with her daughter. That afternoon, she finished washing some dirty laundry and walked back into the bedroom when the system notification chimed. Ding! Zhao Hengkai purchased a dress worth 688 yuan. Congratulations to the host. You have received 10 dresses valued at 688 yuan each. Ding! Zhao Hengkai bought 1 dress, 2 blouses, and 2 pairs of trousers. Congratulations to the host. You have received 10 dresses, 20 blouses, and 20 pairs of trousers. Ding! Zhao Hengkai spent 899 yuan at a Thai restaurant. Congratulations to the host. You have received 10 dining sets valued at 899 yuan each. Lin Qingxue looked at the items displayed on the system panel. That scoundrel must have started dating someone. Otherwise, he wouldn't be buying women's clothing. She wondered which unlucky girl had crossed paths with Zhao Hengkai. The new clothes were not sized to fit Lin Qingxue, so she had no use for them. System, exchange all the items I just received for cash. Understood, host. 10 dresses worth 688 yuan each have been exchanged successfully. 6,880 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check your balance. 10 dresses, 20 blouses, and 20 pairs of trousers have been exchanged successfully. 32,500 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check your balance. Dining sets valued at 899 yuan have been exchanged successfully. 8,990 yuan has been transferred to your account. Please check your balance. Combined, the sums came to nearly 50,000 yuan. Lin Qingxue lifted the corners of her mouth in delight. From what she knew of Zhao Hengkai, he was never generous with others. He was probably only spending freely now because he didn't want to lose face this early in the relationship. She wondered how long he could keep it up. Lin Qingxue hoped he would keep contributing more. Zhao Hengkai and Zhuang Wen stayed out until 6 in the evening before he returned home. He flopped straight onto the sofa as soon as he walked through the door. Qin Guiyuan was busy preparing dinner. Seeing her son arrive, she quickly asked how the date had gone. Did you have a good time? Damn it. What's wrong? Why are you upset after going out? I spent thousands of yuan on her today. Qin Guiyuan frowned. What did she buy that cost so much? She suggested meeting at the shopping mall, and I couldn't very well say no. We walked around, she picked out loads of clothes, and we had dinner together. Thousands gone just like that. Qin Guiyuan had been quite satisfied with the girl during the blind date, but her opinion shifted after hearing this. She spends far too freely. You've only just started seeing each other, and on your first date she's getting you to buy her all these things. How expensive can clothes be to add up to thousands? Each piece costs several hundred yuan. It all adds up. You know how expensive brand stores are in the mall. Nothing is cheaper than a few hundred. Once she picked the items and took them to checkout, I couldn't refuse to pay. Recalling how he had pretended not to care about money in the shops, Zhao Hengkai's heart ached. All that cash was hard-earned. Worst of all, he hadn't even held her hand the whole day. He could have enjoyed himself several times over with that money. The money was already spent, so Qin Guiyuan could only offer advice. Next time you ask her out, choose the location yourself. Pick free public parks instead of malls that encourage spending. That way you won't be forced to keep paying. I've thought about that. She chose the venue this time, so I didn't want to argue. Next time, I'll lock in the location first before inviting her. I can't keep splashing out money on her. If things don't work out, all this cash will be wasted. Well, it's your first date. There was nothing you could do. Let it go and be more careful next time. Qin Guiyuan felt the loss too, but the money was already spent. There was no way to get it back. I know. I'm starting dinner. What would you like to eat? Don't make anything for me. We ate out before coming home. That meal alone cost hundreds of yuan. Qin Guiyuan was shocked again. Money just slips through your fingers. A single meal for hundreds. You only earn a few thousand a month. You can't carry on dating like this. There won't be a repeat. I won't meet her at malls again. If she picks the location next time, I'll make up an excuse to turn her down. Qin Guiyuan nodded. That's fine, but speak politely. Don't be too blunt. Some girls have bad tempers and might call things off if they're displeased. I understand. Chen Guiyuan stood up from the sofa and headed to the kitchen to cook for herself. Since her son wouldn't eat with her, she didn't bother preparing anything elaborate. A simple bowl of noodles would suffice. Guided by a real estate agent, Jiang Baiwei toured a large luxury apartment. She carefully inspected every corner of the property. The entire unit was fully renovated and looked fantastic, far better than the small flat she had lived in previously. The real estate agent kept talking enthusiastically to push the deal forward. Miss Jiang, what do you think of this house? Even though it's a second-hand property, the residential compound was only completed recently. The previous owner never moved in, so everything inside is brand new. This location is excellent. The area has developed rapidly over the past few years, with complete surrounding amenities. This is a technologically advanced residential building with constant temperature, humidity, and oxygen supply throughout the house. The living experience simply can't be matched by other communities. Quite a few people have come to view the property these days. Jiang Baiwei was genuinely satisfied. She had bought her previous smaller house when she didn't have much savings on hand. Now that she had accumulated enough funds, it was time to upgrade to a better place. She had taken a liking to the decoration style the moment she stepped through the front door. What's more, no one had lived here before. All it needed was a thorough cleaning, and she could move in without any extra hassle. It looks great. Jiang Baiwei had no desire to keep hesitating or waste time visiting other properties. Since this one suited her needs, she wanted to settle things quickly. Let's sign the sales contract today. The real estate agent was overjoyed to meet such a decisive client. No problem at all. Most customers would spend ages deliberating after viewing a house and still end up not buying. Clients who make up their minds after just one viewing were every agent's favorite. Lin Qingxue had also been browsing property listings on her phone these days. When she first arrived in the city, she barely had enough money to cover daily living expenses. Later, she received several million yuan from Jiang Baiwei, and now she planned to find a nicer place to improve her quality of life. The rental apartment she stayed in was tiny, with shared kitchen and bathroom facilities. Although most of her flatmates were out most of the time, living there still came with plenty of inconveniences. That was why Lin Qingxue wanted to buy a house, a space where every corner belonged solely to her. She could wander around in loungewear at home without worrying about running into others. And she would never have to check whether the bathroom was occupied before heading over. After learning about local housing prices, Lin Qingxue realized that several million yuan was not actually a large sum of money. Properties in decent locations commonly cost 10 to 20 million yuan, and there were even more expensive options. Several million yuan could only get her an average 3-bedroom apartment outside the prime central districts. Ding! Jiang Baiwei has purchased a large flat. Congratulations to the host, you have been rewarded with 10 large flats. Lin Qingxue's heart began pounding wildly. Is this real? It is true. Confirming the system notification, excitement flushed her cheeks. She had just been thinking about buying a new home, and the reward had arrived right away, 10 large flats no less. A stay-at-home mother with no formal job was soon going to own luxury large flats. Lin Qingxue quickly sorted out a plan in her head. She would use one flat for herself and rent out the rest to earn steady rental income in the future. I have a question. Are these 10 large flats located in the same residential compound as the one Jiang Baiwei bought? They are not. The system will first reward you with an identical property to whatever Jiang Baiwei purchases. If no matching vacant property is available within the same compound, you will receive properties of the same standard in other residential areas. Among these 10 large flats, several are in the same compound, while most are spread across different districts. You can check the specific addresses on your system panel. Lin Qingxue understood. She carefully checked the addresses displayed on the system panel, and it was exactly as the system stated. The 10 properties were distributed across 5 different residential compounds. This put her mind at ease. She had run into Jiang Baiwei before, and Jiang Baiwei roughly knew her current situation. If their homes were in the same neighborhood, they might cross paths again someday. It would seem extremely suspicious for an unemployed woman to suddenly move from a cramped rental unit into a luxury large flat. This reward was the biggest gain she had received since obtaining the system. A single flat was worth 8 figures, and she had received 10 all at once. Lin Qingxue was in an excellent mood. Her daughter, lying on the bed, waved her small hands and let out a string of babbling sounds. After spending every day together, Lin Qingxue could easily tell from her baby's movements that she wanted milk. She quickly grabbed the feeding bottle, prepared the milk powder, and let the little girl hold the bottle to drink slowly. Afterwards, she retrieved some ingredients from the system and started preparing her own meal. Her menu for the day consisted of shredded pork stir, fried with green peppers, beef stewed with tomatoes, stir, fried broccoli, and a fruit platter. Thanks to her family back in her hometown, she never ran short of such ingredients. They went grocery shopping every few days, and each time, Lin Qingxue received 10 times the amount of whatever they bought. The aroma of cooking soon filled the kitchen. Lin Qingxue lifted the pot lid and tossed the ingredients with her spatula. The pleasant scent filled her with a strong sense of contentment. By the time she carried the finished dishes back into the room, her daughter had nearly finished her milk. Lin Qingxue sat down at the table and picked up a piece of beef to taste. The food looked incredibly appetizing with perfect color, aroma, and flavor, and it tasted outstanding. After leaving her previous life behind with her daughter, cooking and cleaning had gradually become enjoyable pastimes. Preparing delicious meals for herself and keeping her living space tidy lifted her spirits. There was no sense of being controlled or forced by others. She thoroughly enjoyed the meal. Once she finished eating, she washed all the bowls and cooking utensils. Her daughter played by herself on the bed for a while after drinking her milk before her eyes fluttered shut and she drifted off to sleep. Lin Qingxue left the rental apartment temporarily to check out her newly acquired properties. She had already planned to move, so now that she owned a home, she intended to relocate with her daughter as soon as possible. Still, she needed to inspect the property first to figure out what daily supplies she needed to buy. She walked outside the compound and hailed a taxi, heading to one of her flats. The system had pre-registered her fingerprints for all these properties. She only needed to place her finger on the fingerprint scanner to unlock the door. The residential compound also boasted high security. Fingerprint verification was required at the main gate, preventing strangers from entering freely. Stepping inside, Lin Qingxue stared at the luxurious interior decoration, feeling dazed. She could barely believe this place truly belonged to her. Many people worked tirelessly their entire lives without being able to afford a single home. Countless others spent 20 to 30 years paying off mortgages just to own a commercial apartment. Yet with the system, she had gained all of this effortlessly, without spending a cent. This large flat was extremely spacious, roughly 300 to 400 square meters, with multiple bedrooms and 3 bathrooms alone. All furniture and household appliances were provided, and every room was clean. She only needed to purchase basic daily necessities before moving in. Worried about her daughter, Lin Qingxue did not stay long. After getting a general idea of the space, she immediately took a taxi back. During the ride, she opened a shopping app on her phone and ordered a large number of daily supplies. She no longer needed to worry excessively about prices when shopping. As long as an item was useful, good quality, and to her liking, she could buy it without hesitation. She had ample funds on hand, owned multiple properties with no outstanding loans, and was free to spend her savings. Her daughter remained fast asleep when Lin Qingxue returned to the room. She moved extremely carefully to avoid making noise that might wake the baby. Ever since Zhuang Wen agreed to get to know Zhao Hongkai better, she met up with Zhu Sha frequently. The two often discussed their interactions, what they had bought, what they had talked about, and how the relationship was progressing. Since they had only just started seeing each other, Zhuang Wen did not yet have a thorough understanding of Zhao Hongkai's personality. She needed an outside perspective to help her analyze different situations. Zhu Sha twisted her spoon slowly inside her coffee cup. When he paid for your purchases that day, did he look unhappy, hesitant, or seem reluctant to spend money? Zhuang Wen shook her head. Not at all. I was about to pay at the checkout counter when he offered to settle the bill. He spent several thousand yuan on clothes that day, and we also had a nice meal together afterwards. Zhu Sha nodded in understanding. Things look promising for now. But one date doesn't mean everything. Many men are good at putting on a show. They act perfectly at first, yet stop putting in effort once they win someone over. You have to take plenty of time to assess him and encourage him to invest more into this relationship. The period before marriage is when men treat their partners best. It's reasonable for him to spend money on you. Women generally sacrifice more after marriage. Pregnancy and childbirth alone take a heavy toll on a woman's body, so he ought to make more sacrifices beforehand. I know, and that's what I plan to do. We're going out again this weekend. I'll keep observing his behavior and come back to let you analyze everything with me. I'd be happy to help. We're best friends after all. If you're going to date and get married, you need to find someone reliable. Jusha did not think she was encouraging her friend to take advantage of men. She believed her advice was completely reasonable. If she herself entered a relationship, she would handle her partner the same way. It was past 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, almost time to finish work. The 2-day weekend was about to begin. Zhao Hengkai had finished all his assigned tasks before the end of the workday. With nothing left to do, he stared blankly at his computer screen without actually working. His mind was occupied with plans for the weekend. Now that he was seeing Zhuang Wen, they would definitely meet up. After their last outing, he was determined to avoid shopping malls this time to prevent another large expense. He planned to find a free scenic spot for them to visit. He opened a web page to search for suitable weekend destinations. Just as he began browsing, a message popped up from Zhuang Wen. Will you be working overtime over the next 2 days? Zhao Hengkai replied right away, no overtime. Do you want to hang out together? Sure. He added a cute emoji to the message. His fingers hovered over the keyboard as he typed, how about we go to? Before he could send the message, another text arrived from Zhuang Wen. A friend recommended Luqing recently. The scenery there is amazing. Do you want to take a trip there for a few days? Zhao Hengkai deleted the unfinished sentence. Luqing was a well-known tourist city. He had not expected Zhuang Wen to invite him on an out-of-town trip. He had originally planned a cheap local outing, but traveling to another city would involve travel fares, sightseeing fees, meals, and accommodation. The costs would add up quickly. After roughly calculating the expenses in his head, Zhao Hengkai immediately rejected the idea. He could not agree to this trip. The two of them would easily spend more than 10,000 yuan. I've seen photos online too. The scenery is really beautiful. But traveling over the weekend would be quite rushed. I wish I could take a few days off to go with you, but my career is at a critical stage. My supervisor spoke with me yesterday and mentioned a possible promotion next year. I want to perform well during this period and avoid taking leave for travel. I don't want to leave a bad impression on my leader. There are other colleagues competing for the same opportunity within the department. I would hate to lose the promotion chance because of this. Zhuang Wen took several minutes to reply after receiving the long message. Oh, I see how it is. I haven't forgotten about this trip. Once I get promoted and a pay rise, I'll take you traveling and make up for everything. I'm thinking about our future too. I understand. Work priorities come first. There's no rush to travel this weekend. We can go another time. Let's meet up locally, find a nice restaurant, and relax a little. Sounds good. Zhao Hengkai sent the message and let out a quiet sigh of relief. Still, a trace of worry lingered. Zhuang Wen had not voiced any complaints, but could she be upset with him? It was entirely possible. Yet Zhao Hengkai decided he could not worry about that now. Any potential dissatisfaction was preferable to shelling out a huge sum of money. A shopping trip for clothes had already cost several thousand yuan. A vacation would lead to far greater expenses. He was not going to act as an easy source of money. His monthly salary was limited, and there was no guarantee his relationship with Zhuang Wen would last. It would be a terrible loss if they broke up after he spent so much. After work, Zhao Hengkai headed home and received a call from Chen Guiying on the way. You're off work now, right? Yes. We don't have much food at home. Stop by a market or supermarket to pick up groceries. Zhao Hengkai rarely did housework and had never shopped for ingredients. He felt troubled by the task. Mom, how about I order takeaway from a restaurant near my company instead? We don't need to cook tonight. Buying groceries and cooking at home costs less. Ready-made food from restaurants is far more expensive. The small restaurants nearby aren't that pricey. You shouldn't cook every single day. It's nice to have a change once in a while. Very well, we'll get takeaway then. I'll wait for you at home. I'm heading there now. Zhao Hengkai hung up and changed his route towards a small restaurant close to his workplace. Many of his colleagues ate here at noon. The eatery served affordable home-style dishes, fried rice, and noodles. Zhao Hengkai visited occasionally and was familiar with the place. He glanced at the large menu on the wall and placed his order. 1 portion of Kung Pao chicken, spicy shredded potato, lettuce stir, fried with egg, plus 2 servings of rice to go. The server responded immediately. All right, wait a moment. I'll pass the order to the kitchen. Zhao Hengkai nodded and waited inside the restaurant. Several other customers were dining, mostly local office workers who preferred eating out rather than cooking at home. Lin Qingxue had just tidied up her rental apartment. Now that she owned multiple properties, she had no intention of staying here and planned to move into her new large flat with her daughter as soon as possible. Ding! Zhao Hongkai has purchased Kung Pao chicken, spicy shredded potato, lettuce stir, fried with egg, and 2 servings of rice. Congratulations to the host. You have received 10 portions of Kung Pao chicken, 10 portions of spicy shredded potato, 10 portions of lettuce stir, fried with egg, and 20 servings of rice. The reward arrived perfectly on time. She had just finished cleaning and was trying to decide what to cook for dinner, so the system saved her the trouble of preparing a meal. Lin Qingxue focused her thoughts and retrieved 1 portion of Kung Pao chicken, lettuce stir, fried with egg, and 1 serving of rice from the system storage. The food was more than enough for her dinner. She sat at the table and picked up a slice of lettuce with her chopsticks. The stir-fry tasted fresh and crisp. The server packed the finished dishes and rice into a bag and handed it to Zhao Hongkai. Your order is ready. Zhao Hongkai paid the bill and carried the food back home. Chen Guiying stood up the moment she heard the door open as she watched television on the sofa. Zhao Hongkai placed the bag on the dining table and opened all the containers. Let's eat. Chen Guiying picked up a pair of disposable chopsticks. You don't have work tomorrow? No, no work. You're meeting Zhuang, aren't you? Yeah. She messaged me before work and invited me on an out-of-town trip. I came up with a reason to turn her down. Chen Guiying frowned. This Zhuang seems a little materialistic. She made you spend thousands on clothes on your first date, and now she wants to go traveling. Could she be going on blind dates just to get men to pay for her trips and meals? I'm not sure. My sister wouldn't introduce someone unreliable to me, I hope. The problem is your sister can't know everything about her. They only worked together briefly, so her understanding is limited. Plenty of people put on a perfect facade around others, but act completely differently in private. Cases like that are very common. I already rejected her offer, and she agreed. We're just meeting locally for dinner and sightseeing over the weekend. All right, you need to observe her carefully. If she's only interested in spending money and refuses to contribute anything, break things off early. There's no point bringing a woman like that home. I understand. A pre-booked car pulled up downstairs. Lin Qingxue held her baby in one arm and grabbed a luggage bag with her free hand before walking out of the building. Since it was only a temporary rental, she had not bought many belongings after moving in, sticking only to essential items. She did not have much to pack for the move. She had fed her daughter and changed her nappy before leaving. Held in her mother's arms, the baby simply looked curiously at her surroundings without crying. Lin Qingxue got into the car and the driver pulled away after she closed the door. When they arrived at the new flat, the baby stared wide-eyed at the unfamiliar surroundings and let out a string of indistinct babbling sounds. Worried that the new environment might unsettle her, Lin Qingxue sat down on the sofa and rocked her gently. Xia, this will be our new home from now on. We won't need to move constantly anymore, and no one can ask us to leave. Seeing her child showed little fear or resistance, she temporarily set the little girl down on the sofa and began sorting through the luggage bag she had brought back. Inside were clothes and all sorts of small items for her daughter. She put everything in its proper place. From now on, this would be the home for her and her little girl. She no longer needed to worry about the landlord demanding the property back, rent hikes, or noisy flatmates. The kitchen and bathroom were entirely hers to use. No sharing required. A stable, comfortable living space brought a quiet sense of security and happiness. Lin Qingxue tidied away all their belongings efficiently, then sat back on the sofa to keep her daughter company. Now that they had moved into their new home, she needed to make solid plans for the future. She had enough savings on hand, and she thought about hiring 2 domestic workers to handle housework and childcare. That way, she would gain plenty of free time. Still only in her 20s and already a mother, she refused to let motherhood define her entirely. She was first and foremost herself. Leave professional work to professional people and free herself up. She could work out, look after her skin, go shopping, enjoy life. These were the kind of life she had never even dared to imagine before, but they were within reach now. Her phone rang beside her. It was Jiang Baiwei calling. Lin Qingxue answered right away. Hello, Weiwei. Qingxue, I just bought a furnished apartment these days. It's lovely. I'm moving in soon. Are you free in the next couple of days? Come over and celebrate with me. Congratulations. Of course I'm free. Send me the address and time, and I'll definitely be there. Great. Bring your little girl along. We'll have a proper feast. All right. Lin Qingxue agreed happily. Buying a new home was wonderful news. Back in her hometown, people would host a feast for relatives and friends to mark a housewarming. As for the 10 properties she had suddenly come into possession of, Lin Qingxue had no intention of telling anyone, not even Jiang Baiwei. It was not that she wanted to deceive her friend. Without a reasonable explanation, there was no point mentioning it to others, as it would only lead to endless questions. Before purchasing her spacious new luxury apartment, Jiang Baiwei already owned another property filled with belongings. She did not trouble herself with the move at all, hiring a removal company to handle everything. As long as she paid, every task would be taken care of perfectly, leaving her with no effort to spare. She had also hired several domestic workers, so she did not need to lift a finger around her new house. One morning after breakfast, Jiang Baiwei lay lazily on the sofa, swinging her feet happily as she scrolled on her phone. She was selecting ingredients for lunch. She planned to invite Lin Qingxue over for a housewarming meal and wanted to prepare plenty of good food. She browsed the shopping app for a long time, tapping her screen constantly. A housewarming celebration usually called for drinks, but Jiang Baiwei considered that Lin Qingxue had a child and might not want alcohol. She ordered several bottles of low-alcohol fruit beer, a carton of milk, and some orange juice to serve as beverages for the occasion. Alongside the drinks came a wide selection of ingredients. She navigated to another category and picked leafy greens, green peppers, tomatoes, beef, tofu, prawns, abalones, rock lobsters, swimming crabs, and a cleaned pigeon. There was more than enough food for a hearty lunch. Any leftovers could be stored in the refrigerator for dinner. Once she placed the order, Jiang Baiwei jumped up from the sofa and called out to the housekeeper. "Aunt Chin, my friend is coming for lunch today. The groceries will be delivered to the door shortly. Please cook a variety of dishes using what arrives." Aunt Chin nodded at once. "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." Before heading to Jiang Baiwei's place, Lin Qingxue bought several gift boxes. It would be impolite to arrive empty, handed for a housewarming visit, and proper gifts were necessary. Shortly after paying, the system notification chimed. Ding! Jiang Baiwei purchased 6 bottles of fruit beer, 1 carton of milk, 2 bottles of orange juice, 1.5 gin of leafy greens, 2 gin of green peppers, 3 gin of tomatoes, 5 gin of beef, 2 gin of tofu, 5 gin of prawns, 8 abalones, 5 rock lobsters, 10 swimming crabs, and 1 pigeon. Congratulations to the host. You have obtained 60 bottles of fruit beer, 10 cartons of milk, 20 bottles of orange juice, 15 gin of leafy greens, 20 gin of green peppers, 30 gin of tomatoes, 50 gin of beef, 20 gin of tofu, 50 gin of prawns, 80 abalones, 50 rock lobsters, 100 swimming crabs, and 10 pigeons. She had received another large batch of ingredients. Lin Qingxue could guess these were all for their lunch gathering. Jiang Baiwei was doing well financially and rarely hesitated over prices when shopping, splashing out on premium produce such as rock lobsters and abalones. The doorbell rang. The housekeeper was busy in the kitchen, and Jiang Baiwei hurried to open the door the moment she heard the chime. Lin Qingxue stood outside holding her daughter. "You're finally here. Come on in. I've prepared loads of delicious food for you." Lin Qingxue held her little girl in one arm and carried multiple gift bags in her other hand. Jiang Baiwei quickly took the bags from her. "I only asked you over for a meal. There's no need to bring so many gifts." "I lack nothing." Lin Qingxue smiled. "I know you have everything, but I couldn't show up empty-handed. Please accept them. It's just a small token of my congratulations on your new home. I wish you a wonderful life here." "Thank you, I'll take your well wishes. I hope life treats you well too." "It will. Come inside and sit. Let me hold the little one." Lin Qingxue passed her daughter over to Jiang Baiwei. Lin Xia had met Jiang Baiwei once before and showed no wariness. She reached out and gently tugged at Jiang Baiwei's hair with her small hand. Jiang Baiwei kissed her tiny palm, making the girl giggle. "She's absolutely adorable. She'll grow up to be such a beautiful girl." The kitchen door was closed, but through the glass panel, they could see someone working inside, and the hum of the range hood drifted out. Lin Qingxue and Jiang Baiwei chatted on the sofa when the doorbell rang again. Lin Qingxue glanced toward the entrance, assuming it was another friend. When the door opened, a young man in a suit stepped inside. A bright smile spread across Jiang Baiwei's face, and she slipped her arm affectionately through his. From this gesture, Lin Qingxue suspected this was her boyfriend. They had talked at length after their previous chance encounter, yet Jiang Baiwei had never mentioned her relationship status. It seemed she was not single after all. Jiang Baiwei led him into the living room and gestured toward the sofa. "This is my friend, Lin Qingxue." Qi Yan smiled and greeted her. "Hello." Lin Qingxue politely returned the greeting. Jiang Baiwei intended to lead Qi Yan to the sofa and pour him a drink, but he pulled a red envelope from his pocket. "I have work commitments soon and can't stay for lunch. This is a housewarming gift for you." Jiang Baiwei did not mind at all. "It's fine, go ahead and take care of your work." She accepted the red envelope openly and walked him to the door, reminding him to drive safely before he left. Back inside, she placed the envelope in a drawer, seemingly untroubled that her boyfriend could not stay for their meal. Just then, the housekeeper carried plates of cooked food out to the dining table. Jiang Baiwei waved to Lin Qingxue. "Qingxue, come and eat." Lin Qingxue took a seat. "Your boyfriend seems to be kept very busy. He always has plenty of work to handle. Let him get on with his duties, and we'll enjoy our meal." The housekeeper had prepared an abundant spread covering the whole table, a balanced mix of meat and vegetables. She poured juice and milk for each of them. As soon as she sat down, Jiang Baiwei picked up a swimming crab. "Make yourself at home here, Qingxue. Eat as you like, no need to hold back. Let's enjoy ourselves fully today. I won't stand on ceremony." The dishes on the table were unsuitable for Lin Xia, so before the meal began, Lin Qingxue prepared milk powder for her daughter and let the little girl drink beside her while she and Jiang Baiwei enjoyed the food. After finishing one crab, Jiang Baiwei picked up a rock lobster. "Try this rock lobster, Qingxue. It tastes amazing. I've bought it many times before." All right. Lin Qingxue had never had such delicacies in her former household. Her family only ever ate ordinary, affordable dishes, and no one was willing to spend money on premium seafood. Ever since she acquired the system, she had gained large quantities of food triggered by other people's purchases. Today's meal at Jiang Baiwei's was the most expensive feast she had tasted in her 20 years of life. All the ingredients obtained through the system were safely stored, ready for her to enjoy in her new home whenever she wanted. "Your housekeeper is a fantastic cook. Everything tastes great." Jiang Baiwei laughed. "Right? I pay her well. She only takes care of cooking, and another housekeeper handles all the cleaning." "How much does the cook earn each month?" "Over 10,000. That's surprisingly high. There are cooks charging several thousand, and others demanding tens of thousands, but I didn't need someone at that price point. I settled on this one in the mid-range bracket, and her cooking is excellent. The cleaner earns a decent salary too, around 6,000 or 7,000 a month." Lin Qingxue had no prior experience hiring domestic staff and had no idea about the going rates. It really makes you think. So many women do all the cooking, cleaning, childcare, and housework after marriage without receiving any pay. This cook earns over 10,000 just for preparing meals, and the cleaner gets several thousand. Domestic work is actually quite lucrative. You're only just realizing this? Women's labor is so often undervalued. All the chores around a house are valuable work. In a big city like Haicheng, people working in domestic service can easily earn 100 to 200,000 a year if they offer their services commercially. Yet when the same work is done within a marriage, it is taken for granted. Worse still, many men fail to appreciate it. They think their monthly salary alone makes them accomplished and believe their wives should handle all household duties as a matter of course. "I never understood this when I lived back in my hometown," Lin Qingxue said sincerely. For the first 2 decades of her life, she had simply followed the path laid out for her, unaware of the world beyond her small circle. Jiang Baiwei peeled a prawn she had intended to eat herself, then placed the meat onto Lin Qingxue's plate. Lots of people make foolish choices when they are young. Realizing the truth now is far better than never waking up. It's incredibly hard to break free from old mindsets in small hometowns because everyone around you follows the same outdated routines. My mother spent her whole life doing everything for the family, while my father acted like a master waiting to be waited on. Women need to step outside and see the wider world, otherwise they remain trapped their whole lives. So many women end up stuck in difficult circumstances. They commit themselves to a partner, raise children, shoulder endless housework, receive little respect, lose their vitality over time, and may face abandonment with nothing to fall back on. It is truly a miserable fate. As Jiang Baiwei spoke, Lin Qingxue reflected on her own past years. Every word hit close to home. She had married without careful consideration. After the wedding, her mother-in-law piled endless chores onto her. She nearly lost her life giving birth, Yet no one offered a word of concern once she regained consciousness. Instead, they urged her to recover quickly and conceive a second child. She had never been treated like part of the family. Running away had been the best decision she had ever made, and she would never repeat the same mistakes. Jiang Baiwei had come to understand these truths gradually. She had left her hometown without such clear insight at first, only knowing she could not stay and accept a stagnant future. After several years living in the metropolis, witnessing a broader society, she fully grasped what her life would have become if she had stayed in her hometown. Qingxue, has your family tried to find you since you came to Haiqing? Lin Qingxue peeled a prawn and shook her head. I don't know. I changed all my contact details after arriving in the city and cut off all communication with them. Whether they search for me is their business. I choose not to concern myself with it. My only priority now is building a good life for myself and my daughter. I have no wish to contact any of them ever again. Not even her birth mother. Zhang Lan only cared about her son and had never valued her daughter. There was no point reaching out to someone who saw so little worth in her. Jiang Baiwei fully agreed with her choice. You're doing the right thing. They will only drain you. It's best to keep your distance. If they find out where you live, they will do everything they can to drag you back and exploit you. Don't make the mistake of letting them into your life again. I understand. Their lunch stretched on until past 1 o'clock. After eating, Jiang Baiwei showed Lin Qingxue around her new apartment, walking her through every room. Isn't this place lovely? Lin Qingxue smiled and nodded. It's absolutely wonderful. The 10 properties she had obtained varied in layout, yet all were high-quality homes. She already occupied one and planned to hand the rest over to property agents to rent out. Each apartment was spacious and located in prime districts. Every single one could easily command a monthly rent of tens of thousands. It was 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Seeing how late it was, Lin Qingxue decided it was time to leave. We've stayed half the day. I need to head home with my daughter. Congratulations once more on your new house. Let's keep in touch often. Jiang Baiwei did not press her to stay. She carried the little girl and walked her to the doorway. I'll see you downstairs. There's no need. I can manage on my own and get a taxi outside. Don't trouble yourself. Take care on the journey. Send me a message once you arrive home. I'll reach out whenever I'm free. Sure. These days, apart from looking after her daughter, she had few other obligations. Lin Qingxue held her child in one arm and carried a bag of the girl's belongings as she left Jiang Baiwei's apartment. Traveling with a young child was never convenient. Trips outside always meant packing numerous items, milk bottles, nappies, and other supplies that might be needed at any moment. Jiang Baiwei had taken leave from her job at the bar for the next few days. Although Lin Qingxue left at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, it was still early for her, and she had plenty of time to head out. Her line of work required her to maintain a neat appearance, so Jiang Baiwei invested heavily in self-care. Shortly after Lin Qingxue departed, she drove out to a beauty salon for a full facial and body treatment. Lying on the beauty bed and receiving attentive service from multiple therapists, Jiang Baiwei felt thoroughly relaxed. As soon as Lin Qingxue stepped through the front door of her own home, the system notification sounded. Ding! Jiang Baiwei purchased a full body beauty treatment package. Congratulations to the host. You have obtained 10 full body beauty treatment vouchers. Lin Qingxue set down her bags. Her daughter had fallen asleep, and she gently laid her on the bed. She had no intention of converting this new reward into money. She wanted to experience the treatment for herself. Before marriage, she had maintained great skin, a fit figure, and vibrant energy. But after giving birth, every time she looked in the mirror, she felt she had aged significantly. Her complexion had dulled, and her body had changed. She had lacked the means to care for herself in the past, yet opportunities were now available. She wanted to improve her appearance, simply so she would feel happier when she looked at her reflection. Many men mistakenly believe women dress up and maintain their looks to appeal to them. In truth, girls invest in skincare, makeup, and nice clothes to bring joy to themselves, not to please others. After hiring several domestic workers, Lin Qingxue felt truly liberated. Meals were prepared for her, the house was kept clean, and childcare was taken care of. She had no chores left to handle. Breakfast was ready when she woke up. The housekeepers fed her daughter, changed nappies, and kept the little girl happy. Their professional experience made them far more competent at childcare, putting Lin Qingxue's mind at ease. One afternoon after lunch, the housekeeper had settled the child down for a nap. Lin Qingxue got dressed and headed out to experience the full body beauty treatment. She could not help feeling excited. She had never enjoyed such luxurious services before. She took a taxi to the beauty salon and gave her phone number at the reception. All rewards provided by the system were pre-booked and fully paid for. She only needed to attend the appointment without any extra costs. Guided by the salon staff, Lin Qingxue entered a private treatment room. Several therapists in matching uniforms greeted her politely and attended to her thoughtfully throughout the session. Lin Qingxue was unsure how much difference a single treatment would make, but lying back while trained staff massaged her skin brought immense relaxation. Once, all she could look forward to after returning home was endless housework. The treatment lasted several hours. When it finished, she did not go straight home. A large shopping mall stood nearby, so she wandered inside to browse and shop. She rarely had time for shopping trips when she was solely responsible for her daughter, always worrying the girl might cry in her absence. Now that childcare was handled, she planned to visit clothing stores to buy new outfits for herself. As she walked out of a boutique carrying shopping bags, she noticed a man and woman passing by in the distance. She paid little attention at first, yet something about the man struck her as familiar. When she looked closely, she recognized him. It was Qi Yan, Jiang Baiwei's boyfriend. He was walking closely alongside another attractive young woman, his arm resting casually over her shoulders. The woman carried several elegant shopping bags printed with the logo of a well-known jewelry brand. Lin Qingxue froze. She watched the two walk past her, her gaze lingering on their figures for a long time. Qi Yan was Jiang Baiwei's boyfriend, so why was he out shopping with another girl? They were walking with their arms around each other. There was no way they were just ordinary friends. Moreover, the affectionate glances they exchanged as they talked were more than enough to show there was something special between them. Lin Qingxue had originally planned to wander around the area longer, but after witnessing this, she sensed the situation was serious. She did not know Qi Yan well, but Jiang Baiwei was her friend. Now that she had seen Qi Yan with another woman, Lin Qingxue believed Jiang Baiwei deserved to know the truth. However, just as she was about to dial the number, she hesitated. If she told Jiang Baiwei, would she be heartbroken? Although many things Jiang Baiwei said sounded rational, few women could accept their partner being unfaithful. No matter how composed they seemed, they would inevitably feel hurt. Lin Qingxue was caught in a dilemma, unsure what to do. If she kept quiet, her conscience would trouble her. If she spoke up, she feared hurting her friend. What on earth should she do? After struggling for a very long time, Lin Qingxue steeled herself and resolved to call Jiang Baiwei and tell her everything. Her friend had to know. Even if the truth saddened Jiang Baiwei, she ought to find out early so she could plan for the future. Dishonesty in a relationship could not be tolerated. Once it happened, it would likely happen again. She trusted her friend would pull through and not wallow in grief. As soon as the call connected, Jiang Baiwei's cheerful, lively voice came through the line. Hey, Qingxue. You're calling out of the blue. Are you bored at home and want to hang out? The words caught in Lin Qingxue's throat. She could hear how good Jiang Baiwei's mood was, and breaking the news would undoubtedly crush her spirits. Yet Lin Qingxue chided herself for wavering again. She had agonized over the decision before picking up the phone and could not back down now. Baiwei, I wanted to ask how things are between you and your boyfriend lately. Everything's great. Why do you ask all of a sudden? There's something I need to tell you, but I'm afraid it will upset you. What is it? Go ahead. I was shopping at the mall a little while ago and saw him walking around with his arm around another girl. He seemed to be buying her things too, and she looked really happy. After she spoke, silence fell on the other end of the line for a second or two. Then Jiang Baiwei burst out laughing. Haha, I thought it was something huge. Is that all? Aren't you concerned at all? Why would I be? I've always known he sees other people besides me. Lin Qingxue was stunned. You know? And you don't mind? What's there to mind? What we have is a mutually agreeable arrangement. I appreciate his financial support, and he enjoys my company. I've never been unaware that he spends time with other women. Sometimes, if I meet someone who fits his preferences, I even introduce them to him. Lin Qingxue was utterly astonished. You really have an open outlook. I spent ages working up the courage to make this call, debating whether I should tell you. I worried you'd be upset, but keeping it to myself made me feel terrible, like I was hiding something from you. Jiang Baiwei remained completely unfazed. You're overthinking this. I truly don't care. I've worked in the hospitality industry for years, so I know what men are like. No matter how handsome, wealthy, or influential they all follow the same patterns. That's why I never hold any expectations for them. I only aim to gain tangible benefits from these connections. Otherwise, how do you think I afforded my house, my car, and everything else? I never plan to build a long-term future with any of them. Marriage is out of the question, and I don't expect lasting romance. We're all adults with a straightforward understanding. So don't worry about me, I've known all along. Understanding dawned on Lin Qingxue. I see. It seems I worried unnecessarily. I already thought you were a level-headed person from our past conversations, but I didn't realize you had such a clear perspective. I'm glad everything's fine. I'll hang up now. All right, but thank you for considering my feelings so carefully before calling. No need to thank me. Qingxue, since you reached out because of this, I should give you a word of advice. Go ahead. I've lived in this city for a long time and met countless men, so I don't place my hopes on them. My goal has always been clear: seek material security, not emotional attachment. But you're different. You're honest and straightforward. You were married once and only had experience with one partner. If you meet men here in the future, you can date them and you can accept their kindness, but never open your heart fully to them. Don't rush into another marriage. You'll most likely end up disappointed. Do you understand? Lin Qingxue nodded. I understand. After leaving my previous marriage, I never intended to marry again. It doesn't seem worthwhile. You don't have to get married, but you can still date. You're still young. Don't let your child become your whole world. Just remember what I've told you. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I know. Thank you. Having endured one failed marriage, Lin Qingxue had already seen the truth. Even without Jiang Baiwei's warning, she knew better than to walk into the same trap again. That evening after dinner, Zhang Lan set down her chopsticks and brought up plans for her grandson's first birthday celebration. He'll turn one soon. We need to set a date, book tables, and invite relatives over for a gathering. Lin Qingyang and Zhou Yuan had no objections. A baby's 1 month and 1 year milestones were important occasions, and local custom called for hosting guests for a meal. That sounds good. We can reserve tables at a restaurant and send a notice in the family group chat. Zhong Lan immediately rejected her daughter-in-law's idea. No, eating out will cost a fortune. We can buy ingredients and set up tables at home instead to save money. Zhou Yuan frowned. Mom, hosting at home is so much trouble. We'd have to buy all the ingredients and cook everything ourselves. We won't save much and we'll exhaust ourselves. Why bother? Zheng Lan pointed at her. That's why I say you don't know how to manage money. Even if you spend 1,000 yuan per table at a restaurant, the food won't be great. If we buy meat and produce ourselves, we can pick fresh ingredients and make dishes just as good as any restaurants. It'll be hard work, but every yuan saved counts. The child will have countless expenses growing up. We can't waste money. We'll do it at home. We can make a list of dishes and ingredients now, buy everything soon, and start preparing. Zhou Yuan could not persuade her and had to agree. Suit yourself. If you insist on this, don't complain about being worn out later. Zheng Lan could tell her daughter-in-law hoped to avoid work. I won't handle everything alone. You two will help too. Lin Qingyang waved his hand to decline at once. I can't. I still have work. I won't have time to help with all the preparations. Zhang Lan did not push her son. If you have to work, off you go. You don't need to do kitchen chores, just send the invitations to all the relatives. This task was easy for Lin Qingyang. He only needed to post a message in the family chat group. Zhang Lan then turned to Zhou Yuan. You'll help me get everything ready. I'll ask a few acquaintances to come lend a hand, and we'll manage. Zhou Yuan was unhappy with the arrangement. I need to look after the baby. How can I help? He can walk already. He doesn't need constant watching. He naps often, let him sleep indoors. Attend to him when he cries, and come help when he's calm. Don't try to shirk work, this is your son's celebration. Zhou Yuan fell silent. Very well, that's settled. Zhang Lan tidied the table and fetched pen and paper. Let me figure out which dishes to serve. Lin Qingyang remained indifferent, sitting on the sofa scrolling on his phone. Zhou Yuan tapped his shoulder. We're planning the birthday banquet. Could you put your phone down and help us decide on the menu? Lin Qingyang did not look up. You two can sort it out. I know nothing about cooking. I'd only get in the way, so don't count on me. Zhang Lan spoiled her son endlessly and never forced him to do anything he disliked. Zhou Yuan, come help me plan. He really doesn't understand this. Having him here would be pointless. Irritated, Zhou Yuan rolled her eyes, yet she walked over to the table as her mother-in-law asked. I've already thought of several dishes. Duck, shrimp, and beef are essential. Steamed fish, braised pork ribs, and braised pork belly must be included too. We also need vegetarian dishes, fruit platters, and cold salads. Zhou Yuan was unenthusiastic. She had wanted to book a restaurant and leave all the work to staff, so Zhang Lan's decision to host at home put her in a bad mood. Mom, don't just list dishes off the top of your head. Write all the names down first, then we can gather ingredients according to the list. I'll write them out. Zhang Lan jotted down her ideas on the paper. Salted duck, cold cucumber and wood ear mushroom salad, spiced beef, salt and pepper shrimp, steamed perch, braised chicken, red, braised pork, fruit platter. Looking at the list, there's so much we need to buy. Zhou Yuan folded her arms. I told you so. It would be far simpler to book a restaurant. Why go through all this hassle for minimal savings? You have no idea. Restaurants cut corners on ingredients. If they serve poor, quality food, the relatives will gossip behind our backs. If we pay enough, they'll serve decent meals. That means spending more money. You know the rule. You get what you pay for. Restaurants want profits. You can't expect high-quality dishes on a tight budget. We can't risk embarrassing our family, so home cooking is better. We can guarantee fresh ingredients and save some cash. Fine. Now that we have the menu, write down all the ingredients we need to purchase, and we can shop from the list. I'll do that right away. Zhang Lan referenced the menu and drafted a second list of raw ingredients. The quantities were far larger than ordinary household cooking. Many items would be purchased in 10 or 20-kilogram batches. She had just written beef and was about to note the amount when she paused. How many tables did we have for the 1-month celebration? Lin Qingyang lifted his head to think. I believe 10 tables, around 12 to 15 people per table. Zhang Lan recalled the event. Right. Then we'll need roughly 10 jin of beef. Zhou Yuan smiled faintly. 10 tables and 10 jin of beef means barely 1 jin per table. If portions are too small, guests will leave unsatisfied and talk. I think 10 jin is enough. Zhang Lan had written the number 10, but her daughter-in-law's words made her worry it might not suffice. She crossed out the 10 and changed it to 12. 12 jin then. That should be plenty. Beef isn't the only dish on the menu. We need more ducks too, 10 ducks, 1 for each table. Around 20 jin of shrimp and 15 jin of pork belly. They discussed details for a long time, filling the paper with ingredient names and required amounts. Once finished, Zhang Lan handed the sheets to Zhou Yuan and Lin Qingyang. Here's the shopping list. Figure out when you're free and buy everything. Zhou Yuan passed the list to Lin Qingyang. This is your job. Lin Qingyang frowned slightly. I don't mind regular grocery runs, but there's far too much to carry on an electric scooter. We need 2 people. You always make excuses whenever work needs doing. I'm telling the truth. How am I supposed to haul dozens of jin of goods alone? Zhou Yuan knew no single person could carry everything. Still, she resented the trouble of going out and silently blamed her mother-in-law for refusing to book a restaurant. Zhang Lan spoke again. Zhou Yuan, go with him. 2 people can carry more. If it's too much, don't try to buy everything in one trip. Split the shopping into 2 runs to make it easier. Zhou Yuan complained. Mom, why don't you go? Zhang Lan replied, I need to clean the kitchen and handle household chores. I also have to go into town to buy small gifts for the guests. I don't have time for grocery shopping. Errands like this fall to you younger folks. And don't shop at the supermarket. Head to the open market instead. Prices are cheaper there. Nearby stood a wholesale market for farm produce with lower prices. Supermarket goods looked neater, but cost significantly more. Zhang Lan did not mind if Lin Qingyang occasionally picked up groceries from the supermarket on ordinary days. However, such large orders of meat and produce would cost too much at supermarkets. The whole point of hosting at home was to cut costs, and supermarket prices would defeat that purpose. Muttering to herself, Zhou Yuan finally agreed. We'll head over tomorrow morning. The next day was a day off for Lin Qingyang. After breakfast, he and Zhou Yuan rode to the open market to buy all the ingredients. The market environment was nothing like a supermarket. Vendors lined both sides of the road selling vegetables and meat, and all kinds of smells hung in the air. Lin Qingyang rarely shopped here and wrinkled his nose at the mixed odors. It smells terrible. Zhou Yuan shot him a glare. We aren't wealthy enough to be picky. Hurry up and finish shopping so we can go home. No one's asking you to stay here. Lin Qingyang glanced at her. You seem annoyed with me. Of course I am. Your mom makes all the plans and pushes all the work onto us while she stays home. She said she needs to arrange guest gifts and run errands in town. That task is effortless. She just needs to place an order for dozens of gift packs at a shop. Hardly any work at all. Why didn't she assign that to me and send us to handle the easy jobs instead? Lin Qingyang grew upset hearing criticism of his mother. She's older. It's fine for younger people to take on this work. It's all for our son. What's there to complain about? You keep using the baby as an excuse. If we'd booked a restaurant, none of this trouble would exist. Everyone says it's to save money. Restaurant banquets are expensive. Most relatives won't give large cash gifts, and we could end up losing money. Mom's logic makes sense. We should save where we can. We're already here, so drop the argument and start shopping. Lin Qingyang sat on the electric scooter, pushing forward slowly with his feet as he scanned the stalls. The detailed list made shopping straightforward. One scooter could not carry all the goods in a single trip. Once the vehicle was full, Lin Qingyang delivered the load home and returned immediately. They made roughly 3 round trips before transporting every ingredient back. A huge pile of supplies stacked up in the courtyard. A nanny looked after the child while Lin Qingxue sat on the sofa watching television, a fruit salad beside her. Life was extremely comfortable for her now. Ding! Lin Qingyang purchased 10 ducks, 15 Jean beef, 20 Jean prawns, 10 Jean cucumbers, 1 Jean dried wood ear mushrooms, 10 sea bass, 15 Jean pork belly, 50 eggs, 15 Jean pork ribs, 10 Jean winter melon, 5 Jean green vegetables. For watermelons, 20 oranges, 10 bunches of grapes. Congratulations to the host. You have received 100 ducks, 150 Jean beef, 200 Jean prawns, 100 Jean cucumbers, 10 Jean dried wood ear mushrooms, 100 sea bass, 150 Jean pork belly, 500 eggs, 150 Jean pork ribs, 100 Jean winter melon, 50 Jean green vegetables, 40 watermelons, 200 oranges, 100 bunches of grapes. The system notification continued for a long time, echoing inside Lin Qingxue's head. After about 2 minutes, the voice finally fell silent. Lin Qingxue grew curious. Why had the rest of the family bought such an enormous amount of food? Their daily meals would never require so many supplies. She quickly realized the truth. Lin Qingyang and Zhou Yuan's son would soon celebrate his first birthday, and preparations for the banquet were underway. Knowing how frugal Zhang Lan was, she would never willingly book a restaurant. She would definitely choose to cook at home. All these ingredients were for the birthday feast. Receiving such a large stock of supplies meant she would not need to buy groceries for a very long time. She could rely on their purchases and save her own money. Although she was financially secure now, years of living in poverty had left her with deeply ingrained habits of thrift. She preferred to avoid unnecessary spending whenever possible.